Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we hop on these charts, on this beautiful start to not only a fresh week, but a fresh month. Monday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you for that cheesy Star Wars pun. Make sure you view this on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I sure as heck am not providing any financial advice or suggestions or recommendations of any kind. Trading is extremely risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all of your money. It's a crazy thing to do. Make sure you read the full description. Read the full disclaimer. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money, which I do. Important for me to note that, for you to do your own research and make your own decisions. Let's get warmed up on a Monday here, guys. How we doing? Chat, what's up? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to talk about today. What's up, guys? Who we got on here? Maritime Trades, Enzo, what's up? Dwayne, what's up? Good morning. Purple Ninja, what's up? Vincent, good morning, everybody. What's happening? 30MD30, good morning, Zach. Hope you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend, guys. I had a great weekend. Miss K, what's up? I was traveling last week. No stream on Friday. Got to spend a lot of time with my family. If you guys follow me on IG, I post a lot of... That's just kind of the platform to do it, right? Like, I post a lot of just random stuff that I'm doing. Spending time with family, with my goddaughters, going on runs and trails with my brother. It was awesome. If you were following along as well, I also got kicked to a Lucid live account. Got moved live with Lucid last week, or at least that process started. I woke up to that email on Friday. That was really cool. I took a payout from Top Step this morning. I was eligible from last week. Smashed a payout, instant payout from them this morning. That was pretty cool. I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful to be at a great spot in my trading, my life, in a lot of areas. And even when things are tough, man, I try to stay grateful. It's not always easy. But I had a great weekend. Thank you for asking. Good morning, the rest of you guys. I see a bunch of people hopping on. What's up? Good morning, Mike, Sabid, A. Morse Fit. What's up? Sloth on Kick. What's up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back. The team's all here. The gang's all here. Yeah, not Mike says not liking NQ the same. Yeah, this is looking funky, guys. So I'm going to talk about this. I put a test trade on. I had to make sure I had an account rolling. We are here we're here on TradingView. Let's talk markets. Let's talk what we're trading today. Let's talk everything. We're here on TradingView, logged in through Tradeovate, the same platform that I've been rolling with. I'm not happy with the fills that I'm getting on TradingView. I don't know how I'm going to display the actual chart that I want to trade off of, end order flow, and all the other fun stuff, and also a Tradeovate chart, which I would prefer to execute on without just putting Tradeovate on. So here we are for now. Today, I am logged into some Top 1 Futures 50K instant funded accounts. This is what I'm trading right now with Top 1. After getting super aggressive in the live account and saying, man, you had a great life. You had a life that was longer than most. Very fruitful life. I said my Top 1 Futures eulogy a couple weeks ago with you guys on the live account. And I've been trading some 50Ks with you guys. So I got a couple of those. Obviously, all of my Lucid accounts are locked up right now, getting ready to be transitioned over. I am loading up on a couple of the accounts that I'm loading up on. Talked about Tradeify and Alpha. Alpha dropped a really cool plan, like the exact type of account that I like to trade. Very similar to like the Lucid, Top Step, you know, that model. We'll talk about that. But right now I'm in some Top 1 accounts. So trading a lot of sim prop accounts as well as live accounts this year. Talked a lot about that. We can go into detail on all that fun stuff if you guys like later on. But let's talk markets. I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of this market either. I'm watching like a lot of back and forth, aggressive, quick movements in here. Like I said, I had to put a test trade on. Just wanted to make sure I was all loaded up. Everything was rolling. I was in the right account. I could see it on Tradeovate. I could see it on TradingView. So I did that, and the market's all over the place this morning. We obviously have continued tensions with Iran. We will... Whoa. We don't want to hop over there. Hold on. Slow down. Back to YM. I'm going to be trading YM off the open, guys, but I'm really not liking, loving this like crazy snap back and forth volatility. Let's talk about some of this before market opens up in a couple minutes. I did not get my Sunday levels email out yesterday. I'm disappointed. I will get it out today. I'll get you guys levels today. It'll be the Monday night, weekly email with levels, but we'll talk about this, guys. Higher time frame on YM, and then a little bit of macro as we're kind of moving back and forth quick. Taking a look at what we got on YM, we didn't crack all-time highs. We had obviously very, very similar aggressive movement to the upside, similar to what we saw on ES and NQ. We definitely did not continue to push highs the way that NQ did. This does look very different if you look at an NQ chart. we didn't settle down over here on NQ and then drift lower and then not come and crack the highs, and put a lower high in. We really just continue to crack highs like every day. It's pretty much wake up and long NQ. If you're getting short, which I have on YM, and I missed out on a couple really clean longs on NQ. You're going to be taking some L's. But today, looking at YM, which I like to trade off of the open. Kind of choppy back and forth. We are putting a bearish bar in here as we're getting ready to open up. We're at a key level of high volume, right? Really key level of market structure and price action. So we are sitting from a higher time frame view. Kind of right in a middle of a chunk of volume, like right back down in here. Cracked below it, pushed to the upside, didn't continue, drifted lower. Getting a little bit more technical on the analysis. No pun intended. Technical analysis. We are... Sorry, guys. We gapped to the upside, came down and filled that in pre-market, right? This is session changeovers for Sunday. We drifted lower. We had some really aggressive selling pressure in here coming into pre-market. We've stayed below VWAP. We're trading at the current forming, right? Session volume POC, VPOC. Opening up to the downside here. I could see a long. I think it's reasonable to try to find a way in long in this market. I would like it down in here off of this zone. I took that Thursday, right? Took that in here on Thursday. You can see how that worked out for me. We just drifted lower. We returned right to my take profit area and then above on Friday. So, just not the right time for it. But I wouldn't mind a long here. I do not have any trades running from the overnight session. I talked a lot about getting more aggressive in live accounts and prop firms, swinging some overnight session trades, trading throughout the session, trading throughout the entire session, not just NYSE, right, through Asia, London, and New York, right? I don't have any of that rolling. I didn't love what I saw in here. This wasn't like, oh, I want to short this, I want to long this. I didn't go for the short the gap fill, which I'm sure a lot of traders did and got paid. Waited for this market to open up today, and here we are. So, just to get a little bit clearer here, I still like this zone. I still like down below pre-market lows. It lines up pretty clean. I've been using some black lines just to get a little bit clearer along with zones. What would I be looking at here? Yeah, I think at very most aggressive, right into pre-market lows, I'd be looking for a long around the 220s, 49 220s, right? We'd be continuing this structure to the downside. I don't love that. I don't love this for a long, like this type of structure where we are trending down. Again, this is moderate time frame. We're talking 2 days here where, we gapped up and then we held down below VWAP. We broke, just looking objectively what we did, to the downside really aggressively. We got close. Like, we didn't sweep down in here. We got close. Pulled back up to VWAP. And then if we come lower, I'm looking to long. We could see something like that, but we certainly we could see some, nasty selling pressure, right? So there is reason for caution there. I like more of a choppy back and forth. Here we are. And we come down, we sweep below, and then Zach gets long, right? And we pop to the upside. And, maybe we take profit right in here. Not so aggressively to the downside. But higher time frame, right? Higher time frame stuff, guys. What have we been doing here? Pushing to the upside. Take a look at the other boys, right? What have we been doing here? Bulls getting paid, right? So I'm not going to mind long in this, even with the kind of downtrend structure from session changeover into the open. If we come back down here, I'm not going to mind long in this. Would look something like this, just depending on depending on what structure looks like down here. Conversely, if we do the exact opposite, if we push to the upside, which I would have liked for us to do immediately off the open, but we didn't. We started to trend down. If we push to the upside right off the bat, I wouldn't mind a short. I wouldn't mind a short, right? Our daily highs in here, right? 49,800 something. That's our daily high. Yeah, 49,805 is our high from today. What's going on here, Trading View? 580 point candle here on YM. So we did move, right? You know, we did move today. We could get some room, but I don't mind that type of movement for a nice reversion trade either. So yeah, I think for a short, if I was going to frame this out, since we're not doing too much, it's giving me a little bit of time to think here. Shout out to the 15-minute chart. You guys scalping the 15-second, already taking 10 losses for the day. Yeah, I'd need a pretty big move to the upside. I don't want to get involved right in here, right? I don't love getting involved right in here. This is such a big high time frame, point of control, choppy back and forth. You know, a lot of wicks in here. I'd love for us to come to the outside of this a little bit, just to kind of get my bearings. Coming off the hourly here. What does that look like? Yeah, I could try to catch a fade somewhere into the 650s, just to give you a round number. Somewhere into the 650s. That would allow me to get a stop loss all the way, maybe outside of daily candle high, where, you know, if I'm shorting in here for a reversion, right? Maybe back down towards VWAP, back down towards this current volume point of control, these nice chunks of volume, right? Some of this price action structure. If I'm shorting for this, if we come all the way out here, right, I'm dead wrong, right? We're flipping this candle completely, you know, green, and we're just going to start pushing the upside. So I don't mind that for a short. I don't mind that for a short. I don't know where exactly I would take the short. I'm more confident calling out a level right below pre-market lows to long than I am a short. I'd have to see what happens in here. I'd have to see what happens in here. But yeah, that's kind of going to be my idea here. Looking for a mean reversion style play on YM off the open. Similar stuff that I do every damn day. Couple of notes. Couple of notes that I wanted to continue to repeat. Just my areas for improvement as I continue to review my trades. Even when I'm doing well, like I have been, I like to review my trades and kind of look for areas that I can really improve. This might start to pop from down here. We might not come all the way down. Looking at ES here, kind of interesting. Pushed to the upside on a declining cumulative volume delta. I'm going to finish up this stream of consciousness, this thoughts here, guys. In general, I'm going to do a couple of things, especially looking after, last week, taking a look at what we had go on here. Couple of things. Number one. On YM, I really want my mean reversion trade to be clean. I want my mean reversion trade to be really nice and clean. I don't want to just be shorting an uptrend like I got caught doing a handful of times. I don't want to just be long in a downtrend. I want a key level to trade off of, and I want a good risk to reward opportunity, right? I want to try to be on the right side of higher time frame trend if I can. That all has to do with entry. When it comes to stop losses and trade management, one thing that I'm finding is I don't need as wide of a stop as I do. I don't know how exactly I'm going to adjust for that, but I can really tighten up on stops. Why do I find that to be true? Why am I saying that? My data shows that majority of trades that make it to 75, 80% to the stop loss, they stop me out, right? They don't come back. Now, I need it to be wide enough. A lot of trades do go, halfway to my stop and then come all the way back to be a beautiful trade. So I can't go super duper tight. But On average, I'm around that 200-point stop loss in just recent volatility, or actually for a while I've been running that. I could probably tighten that up a little bit. Maybe 150 points is more reasonable. 125, 130 points is more reasonable. It just depends on volatility. So I'm gonna look to try to tighten up. I'll widen out, if I see fit. And then on the trade management side, I just need to hold my trades longer. Big surprise. So does everybody almost. I can hold my trades longer. Almost all my winning trades, push in my direction by a decent amount. Last but not least, a bit more discretion, a bit more flexibility and freedom. I oftentimes have a really good read of the market. Last Thursday was a really good example of that. I talked about the longs. I wanted the longs. I mapped out a beautiful long on NQ that would have been a huge winner. And then I shorted YM because I was trying to hold myself, accountable to sticking to my system. And it's a fine line. It's a fine line, especially as you improve as a trader. Your read of the market improves, right? You stare at the chart for thousands of hours. How do you allow yourself to use your experience without just completely becoming an inconsistent, I'm going to do something different every day, right? How do you find that balance? And Thursday was one of those days where I felt it, where I had a read. I really, had that that desire to exercise that subjective interpretation, right? That discretion, that experience, that intuition. And I didn't. I kept myself from doing that. And had I, it would have helped me, right? There's going to be days where you got that good feeling, everything looks good, and you get absolutely smoked, right? So there's a balance in there. It's a very fine line. The best traders do it extremely well. They don't get overconfident. They start just all over the place, stepping outside of their system. But they identify changing market conditions and a lot of factors that are driving price, and they can execute well, and they can keep themselves within the realm of being way too out of control. So just a couple of notes, a couple of things that I'm reviewing coming into this week. And along with that, running some trades in the overnight session, running some swing trades, really some swing trades if I had to classify it. Overnight swing trades, medium in-term swing trades in live accounts and in prop accounts. You cannot hold through session changeover in prop accounts, so the best you could do is an overnight swing. But I have a really good read of price, or at least I feel I do. I like to think I do, on higher time frames, and a lot of the movement that we've been seeing has just been difficult to work with if you're giving yourself a couple of hours to trade. You could be on Trump time where he's posting on Truth Social and prices all over the place crazy, and calms down in the afternoon. It calms down in Asia, London, and maybe not much is going on, but we're at a level, we're at a zone. You're starting to get your area hit, and you can find a good way to throw a trade on and then hang on to it. So just some thoughts, kind of going through, trying to give you guys all the sauce. That's what I try to do here, right? How am I getting the results that I'm getting? This is the process. This is the iterative thought process that I use. Maybe that's helpful. So again, waiting for YM to give me a potential long in here. I don't know that we do it. It feels like, here's my discretion. I'm not going to get too aggressive here. Feels like NQ and ES are trying to drag this thing back up. These two are back at VWAP. Are they going to push highs and YM is going to turn around, get back to VWAP, and then come higher without coming to sweep this low? Are these guys going to roll back over? YM is going to come down and sweep pre-market low, right? I got a feeling we might just kind of test down in here, and we don't go all the way down here. This isn't good, though. This is not a trade for me. I don't like that at all. It's not a mean reversion trade. This would be a reversion, maybe from the extreme of the candle that we got forming today back in. This is from the middle ground for a continuation. So it's not my trade at all on YM. There's plenty of discretion that I'm going to try to apply, especially on NQ. This would be one of those things where I'm just way out of bounds. So, I think we could turn back and trade, 200 points higher. That's why I'm mapping that out right now. But this is really a bad way to structure risk for me. Not a good invalidation point at all right here. This is where I would like to be long from, if we come down here. So let's see what we get in here. We're kind of stalling kind of stalling out. I think we could pop, but I'm looking for that dump. I'm looking for that dump, come through, take some liquidity out, maybe down below pre-market lows. This is from, yeah, 6 p.m. Oh, 6 a.m., excuse me. 6 p.m. Yeah, for a move right back in here. I'm just looking at session changeover, right? You know, Monday's always a little bit funky. Looking at, you know, close of Friday, open on Sunday. You know, what do we do for the Asia session, right? Where's 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. Eastern, start of the day. You know, where's London open, 3 a.m., right? What do we do into that time frame? And then, you know, here we are into pre-market and then market open. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind longs off this level. I don't know if we come down here. If we pop, obviously it would be pretty aggressive, right? If we traded all the way off of VWAP down this low. But that's my style. That's my style on YM. That's what pays me on YM. So, I'm going to come back to the chat, guys. I just did want to warm up here on a Monday. Get warmed up here on a Monday. Monday, May 4th. Monday, May the 4th. Yeah, we don't have nothing down here. We got liquidity that we're coming into. We got orders on YM today. We got some nice orders on YM today. There we go. There we go. Okay. We might see something here, guys. Let's see. Like, is this gonna be it? You know, again, I'm kind of cautious. Like, is this gonna be it? Just dipping our toe out here. Is this just gonna be it? Like dipping our toe down here. I love the sweep of pre-market low, but like I said, this is not good for me. At very least, at most aggressive that I could get, I'd need to stop outside of this, right? I don't want to stop here. That's not good for me, personally. But we might not want to pull that move today. We might not want to come back down here. Kind of feels like we don't. So, sorry guys, last thing. Last thing, not sorry, but last thing. Macro, news, geopolitics. Here's what we got going on. I am still happily, proudly using NewsSquawk. This is a paid, real-time financial news service. The best in the biz, in my humble opinion. This blows everything else out of the water. We have headlines here, Truth Social, Finex, Twitter, right? Scheduled news events. We don't have much by way of scheduled news events today. Nothing really high impact. We have continued to have a lot over the last, few weeks. It feels like forever. Tension coming out of the Middle East, right? Really war. And that's continued to drive the market all over the place. We get comments out of Trump on it. We get comments out of the U.S. administration. We get comments out of their administration. Market jumps all over the place, right? So, important to note that. Really important to note that. We're continuing to have that headline risk. We're continuing to trade headline markets, really aggressive headline markets. Outside of that, we had a lot of earnings last week, a ton, right? We saw that towards the end of last week, Caterpillar, really overperforming and pushing YM around aggressively. As far as scheduled news events, just to take a look for the week, what do we have? I thought we had NFP Friday. Do we have an NFP Friday? Yeah, we have NFP Friday. Non-farm employment change on Friday. Unemployment rates, that's at 8:30 a.m. on Friday, May 8th. Outside of that, tomorrow we have JOLTS and ISM Services PMI. Those are high impact. We got a couple of FOMC speakers this week. Unemployment claims on Thursday. So it's not nothing. It's definitely not nothing. The big one will be Friday for sure, as far as scheduled, normal data releases go. And then outside of that, just headlines. Just headline risk. So, that's what I'm looking at today, guys. Staying patient. It's Monday. We don't need to, like I say a lot, we don't need to do anything crazy, guys. Wait for the market to come to us. Try to put risk on when it makes sense. Go from there. What up, guys? Sovereign Pulse, good morning, good morning. Colby Clark, good morning. What's going on, chat? What's going on? If you're here on YouTube, I continue to have people that drop off the live. Make sure you go down to the bottom and hit the actual live button. On the bottom left-hand side, that will sometimes go gray if you swap around. If you hear this, 5 minutes late, so be it. I'm going to try to say that a couple times throughout the stream so people realize to do it. But click the live button so you make sure you're watching live. That's important. May the 4th be with you all. Absolutely. Amor's Fit, what's up, guys? Alan, what's up? Dumond, what's happening, guys? What's happening? Mike, what's going on? Eric, what's up? AK Sharma. Sorry, I can't pronounce any of you guys' names. What's up? Hey, bro, for my first day here. Nice to meet you all. What's up, guys? Radio player, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, Mike said, whoever else I missed, what's going on, guys? Not like an NQ this morning, very random. Yeah, it was kind of chopping around, pretty back and forth, for sure. I did see that this morning. That was looking sketchy. Looking a little bit sketchy, sketchy. We don't like sketchy price action here. Yeah, man, pushing back to the upside. This would have been tough. Talked about a really aggressive longing here, guys. You could watch the way that I talk about the market throughout the trading session, right? This just would not have been good at all, I think that's why I was talking about it. Just the feel of this, the kind of slower movement into the open, the dip down here as NQ and ES are really aggressively pushing to the upside. Again, not that I trade them in direct correlation. I wait a whole bunch more on the chart that I'm trading before I start to look at what the other US indices are doing, and then think about that. But these guys got right back up to VWAP, and they were hammering into it. I was watching it over here on order flow, right? We're growing on a cumulative volume delta here, and had a potential for something like this. Problem with this, right? You say, Zach, why didn't you take that then, if that's what it looked like it might do? It's not my trade. This is really not my trade. This is not a from the extreme trade, right? I talked about NQ last week where I mapped out a beautiful long, didn't take it. That could have been my trade. That would have been fine. This is not my trade. This is getting involved in the closer to the middle ground of this daily candle rather than a mean reversion, right? This is more of a reversal out of the middle. Stop at the extreme where I really want to be long. So now I'm entering and putting a stop where I want to really put my entry. None of that is good, right? So, maybe this plays out and pays today and looks beautiful. But on another day, if I do that and I take a stop, when I take stops, what do I say? Usually, yeah, great trade. Good trade. Like my entry, like my stop loss. Just happened to be a losing trade, right? I do something like this and I take a stop. I go, that was dumb. I didn't need to do that. Maybe I would have got lucky, like maybe today. But that's not a good trade. That's not something that I do every day. So why the hell am I doing it today? We don't have something screaming at me to do something different. We don't have a ton of discretion that I'm trying to apply, like I, really was going for on Thursday and didn't listen to. I don't have that today, so I don't even have an excuse to do something like that. So, anyway, long story short, still gonna wait to see. I would love to see this come lower to, validate me not stepping outside, but let's see. We push lower down here. I'm still gonna look long. I'd love for us not to do this. Not to do this. If we do something like that, I don't like it as much. Then we're really continuing to the downside. Clean structure lower. We pop to the upside. I'll still look short on it. I don't like it as much. And like I said, I have to see what happens as we come higher. I marked out the 49,650s because I think this would be an interesting spot. Right into this overnight price action and structure. It's not as nice. It's not as nice up here because we start to flip this bullish. We start to catch up, turn this into a a bullish day. That's gonna look a little bit tough for the shorts. Gosh, man, NQ cannot stop. NQ can't stop, dude. This is something. This is like, down here it was like, oh wow, bulls woke up. And then up here, we're like, whoa, all-time highs. Whoa, more, and now it's just like, dude, we do not have a lot of breaks of prior day low, and we just have continual breaks of prior day high. That's a clean bullish movement after sweeping down here where we did get it. But dude, this is just pushing to the upside. Careful shorting, man. You can definitely catch some big opportunity in here, like definitely. Yeah, this was Thursday where I wanted a long. Disappointing. Retesting down here multiple times. I wanted that long. And could have had it. Just didn't take it. Anyway, let's see what YM's got for me today. So far, nothing. Nice reversion. We did not come lower. Push it back up to VWAP. Let's see. Not a whole lot of movement. Just to look at this on like a lower time frame here. Yeah, not a whole lot of movement out of these guys. This was looking pretty scary in here. I don't know what the hell all this was. Headlines and just positioning, but this is looking a little bit sketchy in here. Not too much out of NQ now that I'm on the 5 minute. Yeah, this is like not super exciting, guys. Yeah, this is, we might start to go, but this is like, this is like where people get chopped up. Right? Just zooming in a little bit. 5 minute on ES, 1 minute on ES. Back to the Dow. Looking at the 5. Looking at the 1. A little bit more drifty on Dow. Not as crazy looking on NQ. Well, let's see what the market's got for me, man. I'm gonna chill with you guys. Waiting for NQ to chop so I can eat. Yeah, I mean, the shopping right now really isn't great price action. VWAP was basically flat on NQ, shaking my head. Yeah, like sorry, you guys were, my bad. You guys were talking about it. I wasn't even looking. Yeah, that's what this is like, I mean, I'm zoomed in here, right? So I'm picking something, like a lot of movement in here. What is VWAP doing? Almost dead flat, right? We're at current session volume point of control. And, I mean, we're looking pretty choppy in here. Now, could start to go coming into 10 a.m. I definitely think there's, reason to believe we could start to go. When you zoom out, we're making the case for a move higher, but we are at VWAP. We are at VWAP. We can certainly turn down from here. If we start to push these lows, at very best, it's going to look choppy. Excuse me, at very worst, it's going to look choppy. At very best, it's going to look like we're starting to try to the downside. No trade on YM for me, though. This is nothing yet. Nothing yet, chat. Nothing yet. NQ's taking a vacation. Yep. I was upset that I have a work call at 10, but look at this PA, might be a blessing. Might call it early. Yeah, man. Yeah, this is not super exciting. I saw it from like just from comments and and what we had going on. I thought we might move like when we start to get that like wiki back and forth like right ahead of NYSE. You know, headline kind of like some comments coming in. Looked like we might like, you know, get something crazy. We had a couple of comments like 905 U.S. Treasury Secretary says U.S. is opening up the strait. We have absolute control of the strait. UAE sends an emergency alert for potential missile threats. You know, it seemed like we might have something that would be like, all right, NYSE's open up. Here we go. We didn't get that today. We kind of just, you know, chilled out. So if that starts to happen, you know, there's nothing wrong with stepping off the charts and coming back, right? And, you know, for me, like I was talking about, areas of improvement, I want to set some alerts. I want to get back to some around-the-clock, higher time frame swing trading. If I'm going to open myself up to that a little bit more and at least refocus on it, because I've always been open to that. In fact, that's where I've gained a lot of consistency. It takes a little bit of pressure off, right? So, you know, you got a meeting at 10, NYSE's chopping around. You're like, all right, you know, of course, I'm trading live with you guys here. This is my main session. I want to get trades on. Looking at some liquidity getting dark coming right into 10 a.m. here, guys. Let's see what we got. But if, you know, if there's no trade and the market's not doing anything, you chop yourself up. It's really frustrating when you come back at 1 o'clock and you're like, look, now we got beautiful trend, breaks and retest. I would have taken 5 trades in here as I'm watching it, but I already DLL'd. You know, like, you know, maybe you just chill out a minute on a Monday morning, 30 minutes into the open. So we got factory orders coming in. Not a real high impact one as far as that traditionally goes, but we'll see what we got today. A range of 85 points on NQ since open. Yeah, there we go. Digital Nukes, what's up? What's going on, guys? Yeah, this is looking slow. It's looking slow so far. Looking slow so far. So we're chilling, man. I'm gonna try not to do anything too stupid off the open. Let's see, guys. I'm sitting here with you. I'm going to talk some of the stuff that I had go on because I had some cool stuff go on over the weekend and into this morning. I want to talk about this. Talk about a couple of different things here. Talk about a couple of different things that I had go on here. Talk about my game plan on a handful of stuff. If you guys got questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to keep you guys updated on what I got going on in my trading. So, really cool highlight. Really cool highlight. I am getting moved to, this will be my second live account. This will be my second live account with prop firms. I'm getting moved to a Lucid live account. Woke up to this one on Friday. Not unexpected, because if you were following along here and on socials and in Discord, I was taking payouts left and right. So I had a couple people ask me like, hey, you think you're going to get moved live, you know? So I woke up to that email, filled everything out. I think they sent me another one that I clipped. Yeah, there it is. It says you're in the queue for live onboarding. So yeah, I'm excited about that, man. You know, there's downsides to live trading. If you trade well enough and you rinse them in sim, you know, they got to do something with you. They're not going to allow you just to keep, taking sim payouts, you got to go. So this should be cool. Lucid has been an absolute awesome experience so far. AJ and his team do an absolutely great job. I only started with them in February, so to get kicked in April, at the end of April, last week, or May, I guess May 1st, was pretty cool. I think that's a pretty cool achievement to have, taken that many payouts to be able to make this happen. One thing I said in the messages that I sent, I probably could have positioned myself better for this. I probably could have gotten ready a little bit better. And what does that mean? Every prop firm has a different program. Every prop firm has a different live program. How much money you could take over if you're going to take over profit, how many accounts you could take over, the size of the accounts matter. So what would have been better for me in Lucid, to prepare for live at least, would have been trading 5 150K accounts, right, instead of 50K accounts. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I know, the payout that I took before I got kicked over, I had taken many payouts from the same accounts. So, I'm sure that was a factor. But I read through the rules. Looks solid. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know what my experience is like for that. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with the accounts that I had. So we'll see. But again, their program has been absolutely solid so far. So I'm not worried at all. Another cool update, and also I'm partnered and affiliated with Lucid. If you want to check out Lucid, code RDF gonna get you the best deal, 40% off. I really like the flex accounts. The pro accounts are really solid as well. Just to take a look at the markets, yeah, kinda trying to come lower. I'm gonna keep this up on the side so I can keep yapping. If you want to check out Lucid, you could use code RDF and get the absolute best deal. Let me throw that in chat real quick. Code RDF at all your favorite firms because I'm partnered and affiliated with a lot of them now. Here's somebody that I'm not partnered and affiliated with that I was talking about today, and they reposted a whole bunch of my stuff. Obviously, I used to be on Top Step TV. I've never, let me see if I can say this clearly. I've never made anything from Top Step being a partner and affiliate. They gave me a $50 gift card to their store one time where I spent like $300 to their apparel store. But they've had some changes. They've had some stuff that I haven't liked. They've had some stuff that I've liked. I try to keep it 100 with you guys, whether they pay me or not. I continued to trade Top Step. I backed off quite a bit when they had all those issues with Project X, but I took another payout this morning. As you can see the time on this one, I hit request and they had a new, I saw it. They had a new payout processor, AeroPay, or is it AeroPay? Yeah, AeroPay. Smashed the request button and it was instant. Kind of like what Lucid does, where it's like instant payouts, which is awesome. Top Step now has an option for instant payouts, which is really cool. Again, they capped payouts, they changed prices, they had a whole bunch of stuff, but I try to give credit where it's due. I think it would just be super disingenuous for me to be trading Top Step accounts and taking a bunch of payouts from them, and I benefit from their program, and I go, well, I'm only getting paid by Lucid, or, so I'm only going to talk about Lucid, right? I'm going to try to keep it 100 with you guys. They're one of the only firms that I trade with that I'm not partnered and affiliated with. And I think it's still a good opportunity. So, yeah, it was request and then, like, immediate. Submitted, approved, everything, and then right to the bank account. So a lot of guys say, well, it's instant payout, but it still takes the processor 48 hours to get to your bank. No, it was, like, in the bank immediately. 60 seconds, 120 seconds, like... as fast as I checked. I wasn't watching the bank account at the same time, but I did go, oh, wow, that was quick, and let me, like, pop over. So, that was cool. Top Step. What else? Some other cool stuff I was yapping about over the weekend. I'm loading up on two other firms. Really, really solid. Number one, which I'm going to talk about and keep you guys updated with, I am back trading with, as of today, because I haven't loaded up the accounts yet. Tradeify. Tradeify's got an awesome set of accounts that I like. I found a lot of rhythm with this style of accounts. So I will be loading up with Tradeify, pull them up, Tradeify Select Flex accounts and Alpha Futures accounts. Hang on, guys. hang on. Watching this over here. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm adding these two to the roster to really start to refocus on trading. Refocus on trading props aggressively. This is what I'm going to be looking at. I'm probably going to be going to 150Ks just based on, you know, what I had go on with Lucid and Live and, you know, all that type of stuff. But this is solid. This is the exact account type that I like, if you can't tell. I trade the Lucid Flex. I trade Top Step. I trade Take Profit Trader, which is really not the same. That one's really the only one that's pretty different. The Alpha accounts that I'm about to talk about, extremely similar. But yeah, I'm loading up with Tradeify. You're going to see me take payouts from these guys coming up pretty soon. And then the other ones is this brand new one that rolled out. So I got partnered with Alpha. I think they had a really good payout opportunity for 15K from Sim, which, like, if you're, you know, an aggressive trader, was pretty solid. So I started trading their advanced plan. I talked about it. You know, I really wasn't doing too much. I was trying to figure out if I was going to trade the 0 or something. They didn't have anything that I really was like, this is perfect for me. This is essentially the flex plans that you see, right? So let's look at it real quick. You know, really, really simple. Really simple, right? Straightforward. No DLL, no consistency in funded, 5 minimum trading days. You know, the same size DLL and profit target that you see across like almost all of them. You could do no activation fee or activation fee, so similar to Top Step. You know, so a lot of these are going to be different prices. I think some of them are going to have an edge in some places. Others are going to have an edge in, you know, in others. Payout caps, you know, what happens when you take multiple payouts? What does the live account program look like? But again, I talked a lot about it coming into this year. I'm leveraging props. So just to go through it, you can see majority on the bottom of my screen. I need an updated graphic. I'm going to come back over here now. I am trading actively and taking payouts from all of these. Take Profit Trader, Top One. Let me not mess it up. Lucid, Top Step, and now I'm adding back in Tradeify and Alpha Futures. That's going to be my aggressive rotation. With Top One Futures, which is the only one I didn't talk about in detail there yet, I'm trading the instant funded accounts. It's the only ones that I'm trading the instant funded accounts on. I think they have a really aggressive instant funded program. It's not my preferred account type. I think they're one of the best when it comes to instant funded. They had a super aggressive, it was called the Elite Daily. They've pulled that back, but a little birdies told me that they're going to roll out something really aggressive pretty soon on the eval side. So we'll see if we can't take some payouts from the instant funded accounts in the meantime. But everybody else, that flex style of accounts is what I like. And again, you might love the pro style where it's consistency and funded. You might love an intraday trailing drawdown. You might love instant funded. But I'm going to tell you guys, you know, what accounts that I'm trading, how I'm taking payouts, you know, what works for me really well. And it's those account types. So, yeah, some cool stuff that I've seen, man. Instant payouts, I'm loving that. Loving that, man. You know, like I was showing here. Where was the... Yeah, instant payouts. You know, Lucid had this. The Lucid was the fastest that... Lucid has this, excuse me. Lucid has been incredibly fast. It was really cool to see this from Top Step. I was fine, you know, to be fair. I was fine with, like, you know, let me get rid of some of these links now. I was fine with, like, 24-hour payouts, even, like, a day or two. Like, nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not, like, dying for money. But it was really cool when they got faster and faster and faster, all the way up to the point where you click the button as soon as you're eligible, and it's immediately in your bank account. I mean, you know, for me, not only does that mean, like, I can have the money that I traded towards, like, immediately, which is great, right? If I pay for something, I want immediately. If I, you know, do my job, I want to get paid immediately. It also removes this layer of, like, worry or stress that, like, the payout's going to be denied. Like, you're not going to get it, right? If you're essentially going to get paid as soon as you click the button, as long as you can click the button, you're going to get paid. Like, it's great. So, you know, credit where it's due. Lucid, by far, was the fastest. I've never gotten paid faster than that. Top Step now is right there with, you know, instant. Essentially, if you're eligible and the button says you could get paid, you click it and the money's in your bank account. Not it gets approved instantly and then it takes a while. Not it takes a while to get approved and then the payout's instant. from the time you click it to the time that it gets your bank account. That's the standard now. Crazy that that's where we are. You know, because fast payouts used to mean like 4 days. Like years ago, like that was fast. Like, you know, halfway normal would be like a week. Slow would be like, you know, longer than that. So, you know, that's really cool to see. You know, a lot of other areas have been tightened up. Payout caps, live accounts. You know, I'm definitely not going to say, oh, it's all roses and rainbows everywhere. No. But I want to talk and give credit where it's due. So, you know, that is really cool to see. I know Top 1 Futures has that in the works. I have not taken, I haven't seen what Tradeify has rolling and what Alpha has rolling, but as far as payout speeds, Take Profit Trader, very fast. Very fast. Daily payouts, so they've been incredibly fast. But it's cool, you know. If you make it to that point, it's a celebration. I think it's great if you get paid in a couple days. You shouldn't, you know, be like dying for the money in 2 seconds anyway. But it's great to have. Like, why would you? Nobody wants to wait longer, right? So, you know, as fast as you can get it. So that's really cool. Really cool to see. But yeah, as far as my trading goes this year, I really had a really solid month with props. In April. Took a lot of payouts, prop from live accounts, sim accounts, got moved to a live account, you know, another one. Really cool. So I'm grateful, you know, for that. It has not come without lost accounts. It has not come without lost evals with aggressive trading, with spending some damn money on prop firms, right? I'm talking about trading like 5 or 6 different firms, right? And I'm trading multiple accounts at all of them. That's not going to be done with a couple $100, right? You know, it's a few thousand. End up getting through evals extremely aggressively, right? Losing them on the way to passing, you know. So I try to be transparent about that and be realistic when I talk about it. You know, I didn't buy one Lucid account, one $50 Lucid account, and trade it to a live account. No, you know, I was very aggressive in their evals and on their funded accounts, and you know, took quite a few payouts doing that. Which is why I've expected, and I'm totally cool with getting kicked to a live account. It's part of the game. So, as far as market goes, guys, I'm yapping because we don't really have anything here. This looks like we do want to push higher. This was an interesting spot. We held this multiple times. Talked about potentially longing in here. Talked about why I did not take this yet. This is not it. This is not it at all. So. We'll see. Questions, concerns, comments, feel free. Throw them in chat. But hop in Discord. If you guys are not in Discord, I got the announcement and kind of talking about, you know, a new partner and some fun stuff that I got rolling is Tradeify. So we'll talk about that. And I'm going to talk about a giveaway that I got rolling here. 2 giveaways that we're going to have rolling here coming up pretty soon. Do you copy trade on those accounts? Sometimes, but I don't copy trade them all together. Most people, when they ask, do you copy trade? They're asking, are you copy trading everything together? The answer is no. That's not what I do. I will copy trade in batches. I think that's a powerful thing to do. But for the most part, really what I've been doing is just trading them aggressively individually. I really have not been copy trading at all. Not even in batches. I'm going to have to start. It's just too many accounts and too many firms. I cannot physically trade that many all day. But I don't love copy trading them all together, putting all my eggs in one basket. I would rather trade them aggressively, individually, you know, kind of spread risk, and then also keep a nice steady flow of, you know, smaller payouts coming, rather than like trading them all super slow for months, and then you get payouts from all of the accounts all at the same time, or you risk losing them, all of them, you know, at the same time. But I think copy trading is great. I use Trade Syncer if I'm going to copy trade. But as I'm adding more accounts in, I've thought about that a lot. I will have to start copy trading a bit more. I'm long NQ. Nice. Alpha has a new one, don't they? Yeah, just talked about it. Talked about their Alpha Premium plan. So, again, I think they got a good opportunity. I think Lucid is so aggressive with pricing and payouts, and so is Tradeify, which is why I've added them back in, and I'm happy now to be partnered and affiliated with them again, because I was in the past. Super aggressive on pricing and the rule set and the payouts. Top Step's got a really, really good program there as well. Take Profit, again, I'm trading their accounts. Very different. Very different. Big payout opportunity, longer eval, harder rules and funded, right? But there's no free lunch. That's how it goes. And then again, Top One has, kind of had some different opportunities. Right now, I'm trading the standard OG instant funded accounts with them. While we're anxiously awaiting what they got cooking. I think we're going to see something pretty soon out of them. As far as another eval style account that's really, really cool. But they've got a really awesome opportunity as well. They have the access accounts, $39 evals, right? Great for beginners, great for people that want to keep price extremely low, right? The alpha premium plan, probably not going to be for you. These are, it's two different style of accounts, right? Top Step accounts that are $150 with a $150 activation fee, probably not the same person that wants to get a $39 eval. Take their sweet ass time and then maybe, pay for an activation if and when they pass. So different stuff. Zach, could you explain the different process differences from eval to funded to live? Clarify that question, Amor's Fit. What specifically do you want to know? Here's the general answer, but let me know what you want to know, because I don't know exactly what you're asking. Each firm has a different eval or an instant funded account, and then they have a different process to get to a funded account and what the rules are in the funded account. And then they have a different process as far as what happens if and when you trade well enough to get moved live, and then what that live program looks like. The best way to go through it all is to maybe watch some of my videos on YouTube where I talk about it, but head to their site. Go to the FAQs and read through it all in detail for the account type that you're interested in. But if you have a specific question on like one of the firms that I'm trading with and I have experience with it, I'm happy to answer it, right? I can't talk about a live account with Alpha because, I just started trading some evals with them, right? I could talk in detail about it on, Top One Futures because I went through it, traded with a live account, for 6 months. I could talk about, Lucid up to a point. So always try to tell you guys where I have the experience and not. Pushing to the upside here, man. Oh, man. YM. I don't know if you guys are going to hear this, but I got a thunderstorm rolling by, so hopefully I don't have any connection issues, but got some rain. Loud rain. ES headed to the north, back above VWAP here. Yeah, this would have been nice. This would have been nice, but not my trade. It would have been nice today. Not my trade. Off these lows in here for a move right back across. Not a mean reversion. It's really not my trade. I thought my speakers were crapping out. Yeah, dude, I got like a nasty thunderstorm rolling by. It's a lot of rain. Sorry, guys. You're probably going to hear it. It's like smashing against the window right now. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. I'll turn down my mic if I have to try to do noise canceling, but there's a thunderstorm rolling by me right now. But yeah, it's a little bit of the update on props that I'm trading. Some of the solid stuff that I got going on. As I'm watching the market, this did not give me the aggressive crack to the downside that I needed. There we go. Got quiet for a second. Did not give me to the aggressive crack to the downside that I needed to long this. Shorts. We're going to see. I'm not going anywhere yet. 10:22. We got time. We got time to put up a nice winning day and snag a payout. Johnny. Johnny says, are you primarily trading the AM or can it be all day, depending on the market? Here's my approach to props, specifically. Props, my main session to trade, live accounts and props, is NYSE session. What I do right here with you guys. This is the time I really like to focus up. I like to trade YM here. I think I got a really good thing going. Me and YM are like this, bro. No, I got a really good thing going there. And I like to focus up and trade this time. I like to put bigger risk on, take a larger loss or a larger win across one or a couple accounts. And then throughout the trading day, I do two things. The real trading one, right? The one that, you know, is really going to make sense is, and what I've been talking about a lot at the beginning of this session last week, is throughout the trading day, setting alerts at key levels, key areas of interest that we're going to trade up to or down to on specifically NQ and YM, and taking trades for overnight session swing after session changeover into Asia session, taking them into the afternoon for NYSE, taking them in pre-market throughout NYSE session, right? Throwing those on across different accounts. The second piece is really aggressive scalping, primarily for flip days. That's a requirement in props that I trade for the most part, right? Again, here comes the no free lunch. I prefer the accounts that I'm talking about here. The no consistency in funded with 5 minimum trading days, right? Those 5 minimum trading days mean I need to trade for 5 minimum trading days, right? 5 minimum profitable trading days. So what I like to do, which is fine and I think reasonable, is wait patiently for a good trade setup to come, whether that's here with you guys on NYSE or throughout the trading session, some aggressive trade that I want to put on. Put the trade on, and it's either going to be a larger win or a larger loss, right? That's going to put a lot of profit in the account, probably enough for me to take a payout. But then I'm going to need some flip days, right? And I will typically do that scalping NQ really aggressively. I don't think I have as much of an edge doing that. It is much more efficient. And if I was only going to trade one at a time and wait for a huge, you know, nice trade setup to come, I'd have very little opportunities to do that, right? It's just, you know, it doesn't come around that often, right? Especially not across multiple accounts. So that's kind of the full scope. But to answer the question, yes, I will trade, you know, I'll throw trades on for swing style trading across, you know, any portion of the trading day. I do not trade actively after session changeover into London. You know, that's just the time that I'm typically sleeping. I will be actively trading, you know, into NYSE Open and throughout NYSE trading session. And then I'll throw some swing trade stuff on. And again, you can't hold prop accounts through session changeover, so you can't technically swing trade with futures prop accounts. You can hold for like 20 hours if you want to, right? It just depends on when you're putting the trade on. So hopefully that, you know, that answers that question. But for the most part, you know, the payouts that you watch me take back to back to back with Lucid as of recently were from trading with you guys here live, putting a bigger trade on, either, you know, getting close to losing an account or putting up, you know, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 in profit. And then I have to continue to flip for $150, $200 days, right? That's going to put another X amount of profit, $500 to $1,000 in, you know, and there's my payout right there. So, you know, that's what's been working really well for me. You know, I'll continue to adjust. I'll continue to kind of, you know, push into different, you know, different adjustments on those approaches as things change, but that's what's been working pretty well for me. Again, the trading approach, the strategy overall, the what I'm doing is the same, right? It's really the same across the board. It's just, am I doing this on a really aggressive short time horizon? Am I doing it on a, you know, a wider time horizon on the 15-minute chart versus the 1-minute chart? You know. Hopefully that that helps you guys. That answers some questions. As I'm watching this market push to the upside, breaking higher here on YM, looking like we're going to put an IB high in near where we're trading, coming into 10:30 a.m. I'm still sitting patient on this, guys. Still sitting patient on this. Been responsibly going full risk on evals. Can't really care less at this point. And out of 5 evaluations, 3 got funded. Now I'm taking it slow on funded. We'll post in Discord soon. Cool. Any tips and game plan for funded, in funded for you? I've learned the eval. Yeah. So, again, there's nothing wrong with being aggressive or not aggressive, in my opinion, with prop firms within reason. Look at their rules. They do have upper limits. You got to look at how many accounts you can technically, lose if you're going to get aggressive, or how many you could have at one time. It just depends on where you are with capital and experience, if it makes sense for you or if it doesn't make sense for you. If you're going to be aggressive in evals, do whatever you're going to do. I get extremely aggressive in evals. I'm going to pass or fail in the minimum amount of time. I didn't talk about evals on that spiel. And I'll typically do that on NQ in the middle of NYSE session, sometime in the afternoon. I don't think it's very valuable to watch. It's not really, might be fun to watch, but once you're funded, what's the approach for once you're funded? Structure your risk and trade it well. Structure your risk and trade it well. How many losses do you want to give yourself before you lose the account? What's your max daily loss limit? What's your max profit target if you have a consistency rule in funded, which a lot of accounts do? How much do you need to put up to take a payout? But primarily, look at your downside. If you're trading a 50K account, you got a $2,000 max loss limit. How many losses do you need to give yourself before you can work towards a payout? Is it 4? Is it 10? That's going to tell you your risk per trade. And then how many days do you want to be able to DLL, right? Do that math. If you're putting $1,000 risk per trade on, like me, oftentimes, I'm not going to be able to take a lot of losses, guys, right? That might be very different than you. You might not trade the 15-minute chart. You might not want to risk losing the account in, potentially 2 trades on a back-to-back losing streak, right? You might need to trade for 5 trades a day and take 5 losses. That's going to be a lot less risk than I'm trading with. You might say, hey, Zach, I'm way less experienced than you. I am not taking payouts every day or every week and getting moved to live accounts. I'm hardly taking a payout. Why would you do that? Why would you get aggressive? You might say, I want to give myself, 20 losses. I want to trade for $100 per trade risk on micros and slowly work myself towards a potential payout. And if I start to take a lot of losses, which is what's been happening, I have plenty of room to work. I could take 8 losses and I've, only lost $800 and I have $1,200 to work with. That's great. For the most part, slow yourself down. Slow yourself down. I'm talking at a higher level, and what you watch me do, which I always talk about, requires skill, experience, risk tolerance, and very important, capital. It requires capital. The same way if you're watching somebody trade in a live account and they're trading, 50 minis, right? You can't even open that position with your live account, let alone handle a tick movement against you. The same thing in prop accounts, right? You're not going to get aggressive and not lose accounts. That's what comes with it. So, that's what I would recommend. That's what I would recommend. If you go really low on risk, it's going to take you a lot longer to work towards a payout. That's just part of the game. What is your allocation? What does your time and capital allocation look like? Does it make sense for you to get more aggressive? What's your win rate and risk to reward? If you're running a 30% win rate with a high risk to reward, you need to be able to stand more losses than wins. You're going to need to size smaller. You're going to need to try the same trades a lot of times, and you're going to lose more often than you win. That's going to require you to have more room to work. Are you lower risk to reward, higher win rate? Maybe over a normal series of 50 trades, you're not likely to see many back-to-back losses, right? It comes down to the numbers. That's the real thing behind this, right? If you're in a live account, do the math. What is your average win rate? What is your average risk to reward? That will tell you what the iteration should look like if you do everything right, which you're probably not going to do, and you can back in from there, right? If you have a 60% win rate, you can look at the chart, do the math, and say, how likely am I to see 4 back-to-back losses? I don't know what the number is, but it's really high. Am I comfortable with how much risk I have on taking those 4 back-to-back losses? Or do I know after 2 I'm going to tilt and blow the account? Or do I know after 2 the account's gone and I don't want that to happen? Size down, right? This is all on us. Here's a really important thing to think about. You have very little control over what's going to happen next in the markets, right? You and me cannot control where price is going to go next. Okay? What did my mouse die? You have complete control? What the heck? You have complete control over your risk. You have complete control over how much risk you're putting on each individual trade. You have complete control over how much you lose every day. Pretty damn close, because you get slipped a little bit maybe with a stop loss. You're really close to having complete control. So, that's power. That's power. You have to focus on that. That's why I say control risk, right? I repeat a lot of things over and over again. Focus on keeping things very simple. Focus on, structuring your mindset, your psychology to have a winning mindset, and focus on controlling risk, structuring and controlling risk. And I take that from a lot of other traders, right? Guys that I used to watch, guys that I work with, books that I've read. You can control your risk. You have the opportunity. You get to decide what position size you have on. You get to decide where your stop loss goes. And you get to decide when to stop and, start and stop trading. That's 100% on you. So control it, and then think about what it means, right? What's likely to happen. And then ask yourself before you click the button, are you comfortable with that? If you're putting on, you said 4 losses, sounds good, not going to lie. That's cool. Are you comfortable with potentially taking 3 back-to-back losses, which is really likely to happen over a large sample size of trades and, potentially losing the account? If you're not comfortable, size down, make it more losses. So, that's the really important part. Not only do the math and decide and have a game plan and stick to it, you can't do all of that if you don't accept it. If you don't say, well, if this worst case scenario happens, am I cool with that? Am I comfortable? Or am I all pissed off? If you're pissed off when you lose an account, you didn't plan correctly. You did something wrong. If you're upset and angry by, loss, you didn't accept it on the front end. If you accepted it, you really meditated on it, why would you be mad about it? You knew what you were doing, right? So, that's the thing. A lot of trade, and why it's hard in trading, I'll go a little bit deeper than that. Why it's hard in trading, at least I find, is we are tricked by the market, for lack of a better term. We're enticed. And we can form this bullshit, excuse my language, incorrect opinion that we know what's going to happen next. We know the market's going to go up. We really think the market's going to go up, right? And if we believe that we know what's going to happen next, we don't believe we're going to take the loss. We don't believe we need to structure risk. Why would I need to structure risk or care about a stop loss if I don't think it's going to hit? Why would I need to worry about losing the account if I don't think I'm going to take those losses, right? That's not correct. That's just a fundamental flaw with human thinking and the way that you're thinking about the market. You're wrong. Not the market, you're just wrong in that part. So recognize, and this is a conflicting belief, it's a paradox, right? It's a little bit of a contradiction. You don't know what's going to happen next. You can't possibly know. And if that's true, in the next trade, you need to decide how much you're willing to lose, since you don't know what's going to happen next. Decide how much that is, and fully recognize that Trump could come out and say, hi, and the market rips, right? Or, hello, and the market dumps, right? Like, I'm making a joke there. But, recognize that. Recognize that. You might know with 80% certainty somehow, which you never really can, that on the next iteration of this trade, this should happen. This has happened 80% of the days over the last 100 trading days, and there's a really good chance of it happening again. Market broke out, today, IB high, and you want to long that. Okay, great. Cool, dude. You still don't know if it's going to happen today. I don't give a F if it's happened 100% of the time over the last 300 trading days. You still don't know if it's going to happen today, right? So structure and accept your risk. That's where so many traders go wrong. So many. And where I went wrong for so long. Let me tell you. Where I went wrong for so long. I couldn't possibly execute well because I had the wrong belief, the wrong thought process. It didn't make sense, right? It's like throwing a knife up in the air and going to catch it, but you're like, with no chance am I going to touch that blade. I'll never touch the blade. Like, because I threw it up the last 5 times and I caught it by the handle. Like, if you ain't ready to catch the knife and have it slice through your hand, you're not accepting the risk. So you're throwing the knife up and you're not really believing the potential of what could happen, right? The risk involved with doing that. So think about that, guys. Think about that. You probably have something that's going to work. You probably have a strategy that's fine. You probably have an entry model, if you want to call it that, an approach to the market. Most people do, in my opinion. They can figure out technical analysis and fundamentals, you know, not in a couple days or weeks, but, you know, for after some time on the charts. But where do they keep going wrong? Where do they keep struggling? The frustrating part. The way we're thinking about the markets, the mindset, the psychology, the risk part of it, the structuring and accepting it, and really understanding what the hell they're doing when they're, you know, trading with the amount of size that they're putting on these prop accounts or live accounts. You know, that's where things go awry more often than not, in my humble, biased opinion. What is up with this music is not playing? Did my headphones die? My bad, guys. Hang on. Hopefully you can still hear me. Yeah, our live still looks good. Let me just throw this off. Hold on. What up? What's going on here? Something was weird. So anyway, yeah, let me know. Questions, concerns, thoughts, like that. Hopefully that helps, guys. That's the sauce, right? You know, that's the sauce. Before I see we got some questions in the chat. I don't have a trade on here, guys. And YM really just hasn't done anything for me today. I'm sitting patient. We're having a good conversation. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm not going anywhere just yet. Hang tight. Chat, how we doing, guys? How's everybody doing today? Along with one. I'm sorry. Let me go back and look at what we had going. Let's start from the bottom. Pretty mad at myself today. I don't read, just for the record, I don't read all the messages. Sometimes I see some dumb stuff or just something that I don't find helpful. But I like to try to talk to you guys. Mike Z, what's up? Still pretty mad at myself for today. What happened today, Mike? I probably need to think twice about this as a career. Okay, let's see what you guys were talking about. Lost my loose and funded. What happened, Mike? What happened? For sizes, Zach, if we say one mini, that's for futures like 1 NQ, 1 exclamation point. Correct. And that's 1 MNQ. Correct. So a mini would be a mini, which on the TradingView chart is the continuous contract that you listed there, the name for it. A micro is a micro, typically designated by the M before the chart, like MNQ or MYM or, you know, MES. Mike, I'm gonna come back to you, but I just want to take a look and see. What is this price action? I don't know, bro. That's why I'm not trading it. I don't know what this is. It's whack. Zach, can you explain the point of multiple accounts? Is it because they run out of payouts or delay, and when they do, you aren't able to buy another one? I don't know why he would need to think twice about this as a career. But yeah, it's fine. No, the point of multiple accounts is for more leverage. The point of multiple accounts is for leverage, not because they run out of payouts or delay when you aren't able to buy another one. No, none of that. is just to make more money, to take more payouts, right? More accounts equals more risk and potentially more loss or more payouts. So that's the point of multiple accounts, right? You know, if you're trading one account, you have a certain amount of risk on and a certain amount of potential for, you know, reward. If you're trading 2 accounts, you have double that amount, right? If you're trading 10 accounts, you have 10 times that amount. You know, so that's the reason. That's the reason. More leverage, right? More opportunity for risk or reward. That's the general thought there. You know, you could do different things with them. Copy trading, not copy trading them at the same time, trading them for different sessions. Like a lot of people say, well, I like having different accounts for different things. I trade YM and, you know, I keep that designated, segregated to these accounts. And then I trade NQ on, you know, the 30-second chart. And that's for over here. And that allows me to see, you know, how things are going with both. Maybe I'm doing really well over here and really poorly over here. You know, that can kind of help. But it's more leverage, just more leverage, more money on the line, you know. Win rate 80 to 85%, average 0.65 R. Yeah, nice. Nice. Too heavy scalping. Too heavy scalping short with this junk momentum. Yeah. I always go aggressive on the eval. Yeah, I go aggressive on the eval as well. Mike, here's the piece, man. Here's the sauce like we're talking about. So first off, sorry to hear that happen, man. That sucks. Nobody likes losing funded accounts, especially if you don't want to, and you know, it's even if you're accepting it, it's not fun. Like nobody has a great time losing an account. But here's the question, right? You're upset by it. What part of it are you upset about? The first part is, did you have a risk per trade rough, and even if you don't have a risk per trade, a risk per day, and did you respect that? You know, if you did, and you know, you just ended up realizing that, as long as you followed your approach, you know, you shouldn't be too upset. If you're upset, that's an indication that, you know, you got to size down, slow down. Now, if you had our DLL and risk per trade and risk per day, and you're upset just because you were just scalping all over the place when you weren't supposed to be trading, maybe you structured and controlled and accepted your risk, but you stepped way out of line on your strategy, right? You're all over the place. Like if I'm in here, I could say, yeah, I have a game plan. I'm going to trade 1 or 2 YM. I'm going to put $2,000 worth of risk on today, but I'm mad because I got long here for no effing reason, and like that's why I'm upset. So, you know, what is the, you know, why are you upset? And then, you know, how can you improve from there for the next time? Because there's going to be frustrating days. All right, it's going to be frustrating days. What was it? I forget if it was Wednesday or Thursday last week. I'm sorry. Having a day off and having a weekend where I travel kind of messes with me. But I wasn't happy on, you know, mapping out longs and then not taking it and taking it on YM, right? There's room for improvement. There's always going to be that frustrating time. And when you take beautiful wins back to back to back, you're going to feel good, right? But at a core level, if you're still feeling this like anger, frustration, guilt, upsetting, like so much friction, it's some indication that some things are out of whack, because you really shouldn't be feeling that. If you really truly believe there's randomness in the market and that you're not going to be perfect every day, and you're structuring your risk to something that you're comfortable with, where if you realize that in a worst case scenario, which you will over and over and over again, because there's going to be worst case scenarios nonstop, that you're not like upset, you know, you're okay with it. I'm not really upset at all anymore when I lose accounts at all. I'm not. I kind of just go on about my day. I'm, you know, more upset when I have something like where I have a great read of the market and I just don't find a way to exercise that. Or I know I just have an execution error. You know, I don't hold a trade where I should hold a trade, and, you know, I close out early, right? So, you know, it's important to think about that. Please stop this guy. Yeah, Rumo, 8306. I'm short. NQ. Cool. That's great, dude. If you want to, like, if you want to call out a trade, that's fine. There's no signals. It's all right. I see the comments. I appreciate you guys. Listen, you know, if you're taking some random person's trade from a YouTube chat, I got a rude awakening for you. You're not going to do well long term. But yeah, listen, just remember, guys, if you want to discuss a trade idea, and say where you're short from and where your stop loss is, where your take profit is, that's cool. You know, don't say like signal or this is short or we're going to go down or short. Like all of that stuff doesn't make sense. So he said I'm short NQ. You don't have to put exclamation points and shit on it. Excuse my language. So, you know, don't do that. And yeah, a lot of people that do that and just post like results and stuff are bots and just, you know, fishing for people to click on it and go, how did you do something like this? 2, 7, 8, 8. Here's how I'll have it. Just a good idea. Oh yeah, he's short from down here. So, I mean, taking some heat right now, my brother. But anyway, yeah, you're okay to talk about a trade. That's fine. Just, again, no signals. No call out in that way. But yeah, also post your thank you. Yeah, for God's Battle Maker. Yeah, just hop in Discord also, guys. I got a Discord with over 3,000 members in it. Shout out Discord. I think I'm over 3,000 members. I gotta see it. Shout out to Real Deal Futures Discord. I got, you know, trade ideas and charts and P&Ls. You can post all your guys' stuff in there. And I would appreciate it if you did. I think it provides a lot of value to members. So. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm, oh, okay, thank you for that. Finally makes sense. I was just so confused about having multiple accounts, but not copy trading them. Yeah, Amor's fit. That makes sense. That makes sense. So why would you have multiple accounts and not copy trade them, right? The exact same reason that you would have multiple accounts and copy trade them. It's just a style or preference, right? You can, it's how aggressive you want to be, right? So let's talk about it. What I'm doing is the same thing as if I was copy trading them like all together. It's just if I was copy trading them all together on TradeSyncer with 100 accounts, that would be like the maximum amount of leverage and risk that I could put on, right? Where if I lose them, I lose all of them, right? I have 5 of every firm, right? Top Step, Tradeify, you know, Take Profit, Top One, Lucid, Alpha, right there. And people do that, right? If you're going to do that, it makes sense to be more conservative, right? Because you got a lot of risk on the line, the price of all those accounts, right? You have thousands and thousands of dollars where if you lose that's gone. And you also can't really trade them that aggressively at that level without running into issues like sim farming and limits, right? You just physically cannot be copy trading that many and rip through them. It's going to be very quick that you would be flagged and have a problem. But also that, you know, you have the opportunity for a big payout. Like if you're going to take a payout at the same time across all of those funded accounts, if you potentially work towards it, you know, you can slow down and size down, right? What I like to do is just slightly different, which I see a lot of people do. Either don't copy trade them at all, trade them aggressively, or copy trade them in batches and do it more aggressively, right? It also, for me, with this account style, just it seems to work better for me. So, you know, that's the point. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. But it's just a matter of leverage and risk. You know, how much do you want to have on? What's your preferred count type? You know, do you want one of them? Do you trade it slowly? Do you want one of them where you trade it aggressively? You want 5 of them where you trade it slowly? You want 5 of them where you trade it aggressively? You want 100 of them where you trade it super aggressively, right? Like all the way to the lowest risk to the, you know, maximum amount of risk and leverage and, you know, opportunity. So it's nice to have that opportunity because everybody's at a different spot, right? But I will say, like, you can't really copy trade a ton together really aggressively without risking, you know, I think having issues with props. It's just too much, you know, and you're not, you know, you're just cycling through too many accounts. It's not, probably not good to do. But, I mean, some people do. They're really aggressive. I see some guys where it's like, you know, like $100,000, $200,000 worth of like MLL lost in a trading session. It's crazy. No, Zach, advise us to be sim farmers. This is weak advice. Yeah, no, guys. Like, listen, I had different, I won't go on about it. I see you guys talking. Leverage, brother. I trade 3 Lucids all separately. I do it. Spread out. Leverage. Yep. Prop firms confuse me more than trading itself. Yeah, they're a little bit confusing. Hopefully I could help with that. But yeah, you know, the sim farming, the churning and burning, you know, here's the thing. I posted about it on X. I talked about, you know, an area where props need to decide what they're going to do, right? Because it's up to them as much as we'd like it to be up to us. And communicate that. You know, what are the upper limits? for guys that are consistent and are taking payouts and are making more money than they spend, right? Which is where most people are trying to get to. And then they want to leverage it. What are the upper limits, right? How aggressive are you allowed to be before they say you're not doing anything that's trading at all, you know? And then communicate that. So, you know, you could play a lot of games trading and, you know, try to work yourself towards payouts really quickly, really not doing anything that has anything to do with trading. And there's a blurred line between that and actually trading or trying to actually trade, but just, you know, doing it with high leverage and high risk and copy trading, right? So, you know, I think the baseline here, guys, this is a bigger conversation, but the baseline here is focus on trading. Props are a great spot for beginners. They're a great spot to learn how to trade. You keep risk low. You know, you lose money because you're going to lose money when you start out trading. I'm sorry to tell you if you don't know that. And you work yourself towards some profitability, some consistency, right? You make your mistakes, you keep risk low, or you don't, and you lose money to props and you don't blow live accounts, right? Once you work from there, maybe it makes sense based on, you know, whatever the heck you're doing, to get a little bit more aggressive, to trade them a little bit more aggressively, to risk ruin a little bit more, or just to copy trade, right? To add more accounts in across multiple firms, which you see a lot of traders do. Maybe it makes sense to take that money and open up a live account, right? Or just to trade live accounts on the side, which many traders, including myself, do. Then it gets to the upper limit, right? You know, how are guys making $400,000 in a month with prop firms? Well, they spent $100,000 on evals, right? Think about that logically. If you had $100,000 to spend on evals, right, in a month, which is, I think, the high end, right? I've seen some people with, I don't know, but I think people have done that. But I've seen somebody share they spent like $87,000 a month on prop firms. You know, what does that look like? How could you possibly lose that many accounts, right? It's full port, you know, no stop loss every single time, funded and eval, copy trading like everything, right? All nonstop, you know, on news all day, like, and then not like for a couple, like all day, right? Think about how much, like, even if you had to try to lose accounts as quickly as you possibly could, you know, so, you know, that gets to a level, it gets to a point, right? And it gets to like gaming the system and just blowing through, you know, just not just really just intentionally gaming the system. There's other stuff, but you know, props have to, I think, recognize, like, what are they looking at us to do? We need to more than double the account to pass and more than double the account to take a payout for the most part. That's not done without risking ruin. Certainly not done quickly without risking ruin. That's not done without being aggressive. You know, that's not what you would do in a live account. It's just not, you know, for the most part. And if you're not risking ruin, right, with somewhat of a normal edge, you know, you're doing it really slowly. And most of them have a 30-day rebill. So, you know, 20 trading days, right? That's what I was posting about on X. So, you know, there's a balance here. And as I stay here longer and I look at really what's going on, I look at the traders, I look at the space, look at everything, it's, you know, it's interesting. I think prop firms can be a great spot to learn and be a beginner. As you get more consistent, that opportunity shifts. And what that opportunity is for more advanced traders, it continues to change. Rules get tightened up, payout caps get tightened up. There's consistency rules now, right? There's upper limits on how many accounts you can buy in a month or in a, you know, whatever, in a set amount of time, how many accounts you could have total. You know, when you get moved live, because you do that stuff in live, you can't hit the reset button. You're going to be, you know, cooldown period or banned, you know? So, but again, that's a top level stuff. Most, like 95% of guys really, they don't have the capital to do it. They don't have the time to do it. They don't have the wherewithal to do it. And it's just not, you know, it's not something you really have to worry too much about. And we talk about it a lot because it's what you see marketed and it's what people want to try to do, but they have no idea what's going on. So anyway, watching this market not do anything. This PA is nothing for me, guys. This is hot garbage. I'm going to try not to do anything stupid here. Like, not much. Did NQ just keep going? Yeah, just like longs. Longs would have just continued to pay here, but this is just kind of back and forth and slow, guys. This is really just really back and forth and slow. This is nice off of VWAP. Not bad for ES. Just not a lot today. I think this is going to be a calm one. think this is going to be a calm one. How was your holiday, Zach? It was great, Pro Trader. Thank you for asking, man. If you guys don't follow me on IG, definitely follow me on Instagram. I'll throw the link in the chat. It was awesome, man. I spent a lot of time with my family. Also, it wasn't much of a holiday. I was just off the charts for a day. And I still was like, you know, messaging and answering questions and stuff. I'm always finding a way to work. But I did go back to spend some time with family, which was really nice. I love doing that. And I posted on IG without posting the faces of my beautiful, innocent goddaughters. If you want to follow me, there it is on IG, guys. Spent a lot of time with them. It was awesome. Super, super fun. I also spent some time in the trail running, training. I'll be talking about a big race that I'm eyeballing. But it was great. It was great, man. Thank you for asking. You have a good one off to the dentist. Nice. Yeah, I'll see you, Dumont. When you do copy trade, gonna do a little bit of... Yeah. It makes sense. You weren't asking the question there, just kind of talking. Not the kind of copy trading. Talking about Simon's. Someone says, trying to find your Discord. It's linked to the top of the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat. If you click all links, you go to realdealfutures.com. It will bring you to this site. And then right here is Discord. This is my site, guys, with some links if you want to check it out. It's pinned to the top of the chat. I got to add a couple things on here, but... And it has all my socials, which is why I just linked this one. It's got everything. You want the best deal on all the props, best deal on trading software. You want to watch some podcasts of me yapping. You want to follow me on IG. It's linked to the top of the chat. I don't do that. I was correcting copy trade comment. Okay, yeah, you guys were trying to figure out what the heck everybody's talking about with copy trading. Yeah, guys, this is hot garbage. So let's talk about something else. Here's what we got rolling, guys. Two things. Number one. I got giveaway accounts, guys. I got giveaway accounts with a couple of firms. Not just one. I got giveaway accounts with a couple firms. Here's what I'm going to do. Use code RDF at any one of the firms that I'm partnered and affiliated with. And then fill out the form I have in Discord. And you'll get a chance to win one of 5 50K accounts. Okay? Multiple different account types and prop firms. Not just the 50K that I have on here. Different stuff from different firms. Along with that, we're going to do giveaways on the live stream. Including one today. Thanks for being here, guys. We're going to run a giveaway in a second. Get the like count up. You guys have had an abysmal like count on here. You have 30 likes. We're going to run a giveaway for a Top 1 Futures account. We talk a little bit more about Top 1 Futures, and we're going to give an account from them. Giveaway at, let's make it super easy today, guys. Let's make it 70 likes. I think you could do that. Must be in Discord. Link in chat. In the free Discord, because all this stuff is free 99. And we're gonna make this bigger so you guys can see it. Bang. Where's a good spot? That's where price is gonna trade. I don't want to do that. Cool. Let's hide this so you guys can really see this. This way nobody's confused. All right. Hop in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, hang on. Hang on, Chatty McChat. Hang on. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. We're going to do one for some Top 1 Futures accounts. I'm going to talk about some Top 1 Futures accounts. But again, I'm going to update this after the stream in Discord, in the giveaways channel. I'm going to give you all the info. If you use code RDF today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, on any of your firms, any of the firms that I'm partnered and affiliated with, Top on futures, Lucid, Take Profit Trader, Tradeify now also going to be included, Alpha Futures. I think those are the 5. Hope I'm not missing anybody. Sorry if I am. Any of the firms that RDF gives you the best deal at. Gives you the best deal. Matches or beats whatever they have on the website, the Discord, the email is always going to give you the best deal. I always make sure I talk about that and negotiate that with the firm. Always going to give you the best deal. You're going to get an entry to win one of 5 accounts. At least 5 accounts, because I'm going to pick 5 winners. I'm going to pick 5 separate winners. Nobody's going to win it twice. I don't have that big of a following, guys. I mean, it's growing. I got 30K on IG. I got almost 20K here on YouTube. We got a whole bunch of people on YouTube. We got some people on X. But you're going to have a really good chance to win. So I'm going to try to give back. Along with that, you might say, hey, Zach, I thought it was no purchase necessary. I didn't think I had to buy anything to get into your giveaways. Guess what? You also don't. We're going to do a giveaway here today. 70 likes. I'm going to drop a form in Discord. You fill it out with your name and email and all that stuff. And we're going to pick some people for prop accounts. And we do that almost every day also. So I'm just going to try to do more giveaways. I'll probably come up with even more random giveaways. Okay? The code 1 is good because, honestly, a lot of you guys use the code, and I would love to give back to you. I don't like to require anybody to do that, or, I think it can toe the line of, like trying to fight for people to do that. And I got a lot of spammers and scammers that scam the free ones and the ones that are wide open. So I'll give them a shot. I give you guys a shot. I give everybody a shot, okay? In Discord as well, we got more people ranking up, right? Turning cool colors. Maybe we do even more giveaways in there for extra people that are contributing in the community, okay? So a lot of giveaways this week, man. A lot of giveaways this week. Hop on the live sessions. Hop in Discord where I'll keep you updated on everything. And find your way into some free accounts, man. Or don't do anything. Hang out. Watch me trade live. Watch me today sit here and yap and not lose any money because I can't see where I would have made money on this. Maybe stupid aggressive in here. Maybe. Not even 200 points. Ask me questions, right? Try to help you out any way that I can, man. Free 99. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully I provide some value. If I'm not providing value in all the videos and talking and live streaming and short form and long form and tutorials and comparisons, I'm really doing something wrong if I'm not providing any value. That's not going to be good. Let's see. Oh, you guys are almost there. 53 likes. You're running it up. You're running it up. Let me get the form ready. Let's get the form ready. Let's get somebody fun. Let's see. All right, we are boring price action, man. Boring price action. No news Monday. Not terribly surprising here, but boring price action. Boring price action. Softfather got long at 393. Stop at 293. Ooh, nice, very nice. 393. Take a W on that one. Added to trade after 4. Yeah, this was good, dude. Nice job. Really nice job, Sloth. 100. He gave you 100 points from where your average was. I mean, not a bad risk to reward, even if you had to stop right below that, but. Kind of just choppy, man. It's coming back down now. This is like back and forth. I'm assuming NQ and ES are doing the same thing. Yeah, like this is trending, right? On a higher time frame, on a lower time frame, I'm sure it looks like still trending, but like back and forth and wiki. right? You know, if you're buying for nice breakouts here, it's not going to be playing too nice with you. Maybe want to roll over? I don't know. This is not really it for me, as the kids say. Not really it. Anyway, giveaways, guys. Go ahead, smash the like button. 70 likes. We're on a giveaway. Awesome. Let's see what you had. Oh, man. Oh, I'm trying to find your Discord. We talked about that. It's pinned to the chat. It's also in the chat. How many days need for Get Lucid giveaway account? I don't know what you're asking there, my brother. You can win one at any time. Did you win something from me? If you won something from me, shoot me an email or a DM, and I'll follow up with you. If you won something and you didn't get it from me, make sure you follow up with me, please. At this point, anything that I've done last week, everybody should have gotten an account, for sure. Been using code RDF. Let's go. Already used code RDF yesterday. If I start to open it up to stuff yesterday, it's going to be a little bit dicey. We'll probably put you in a giveaway, man. Listen, I'm a nice guy, but I will start to I can't be too wishy-washy, brother. So someone will say, I used the code, 3 days ago, and I want in the giveaway, right? But yeah, it's going to be for this week. Going to be for this week. How does Discord giveaways work? I have no clue. Hang out, guys. Hang out, and I'll tell you all about it. First, hop in Discord, because I have a giveaways channel in Discord, and after this stream, I'm going to do a nice detailed post on this using code RDF. I'm going to do a detailed post on this, which is going to be free live stream giveaways, and a detailed post on maybe communicating and chatting in Discord and being helpful and, providing whatever the heck your trading journey is. Good, bad, everything in between, and helping some peeps out on that. Fortunately, don't use Discord, but stop by to say hi. What's up, dude? Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. You taking any trades today? No trade on the live session, man. No trade on the live session, Vlad. This is straight chop. I'm no win, no loss. Whoa, I don't want 1 month. This is not it. As the kids say, this is just not great. Where's 930? Hang on. So, I don't mind chop because I do trade from the extreme. But let's look at this objectively. Here's 930, here's the low, here's the high. This is not great for the most part. This is flat VWAP and a tight 200-point chop. At very best, most of the time, I'm running a 200-point stop. At very best, if somehow I bottom ticked it here and almost top ticked it up here, I caught a 1R, I talked about holding my trades longer, I would have almost never done that. Almost nothing that I'm doing in here would have generated a winning trade. Unless I got in here where I was debating really aggressively, where I really shouldn't be, with a stop loss right below this, which I didn't like and talked about. And I somehow clipped it early in here for 100 points, which I talked about not doing, which isn't good. I'm not doing, I'm not catching a win. There's just nothing in here for me. Which happens, part of the game, right? Part of a downside of being a little bit more zoomed out. Right? A little bit more of, looking at a 15-minute chart and just being more patient. Part of it. It's fine. No news Monday. Save some capital. Maybe we start to move. Maybe Trump says something. Maybe something's going on in the Middle East where we really start to kick things off. And I've got my units of risk to put trades on, later into the session. Maybe none of that. Maybe I wake up tomorrow and I go, great. I look at the chart. I wouldn't have done anything but take an L, and I have my units of risk to trade tomorrow, right? To live to fight another day. So it's not fun. I don't enjoy sitting here. I know you guys don't enjoy sitting here not taking a trade. I've talked about this a lot. A lot of people like to scalp, specifically on YouTube, and I think it's specifically why so many YouTube live streams are so random and just BS. It's fun to watch, but, and I've done it with you guys quite a bit. It's just scalping in here, crazy back and forth, wins, loss, wins, loss, wins. It's so insane. It's not really what pays me well for the most part, and it's not what I like to focus on doing off of the open, genuinely, in prop accounts and live accounts and anything. So I try not to just do dumb stuff for entertainment. I'll do some dumb stuff for entertainment. We'll have some fun on here, but no trade. No trade. That was a very long way to say no trade. Very long way to say no trade. No. So where you guys at? 63 likes? All right, let's run it, guys. Let's run this. Hop in Discord. I'm going to go ahead and drop this for you guys. I'm not going to make you wait. We're going to drop it. Let's get rid of the old one. Okay, in. I'm going to put the note in there. Live for 10 minutes until 11:24 a.m. EST. Boom. Giveaway form is in the giveaways channel, surprisingly enough. Hop in Discord and get that filled out, guys. Go ahead and get that one filled out. We're going to run a giveaway. We'll run some ducks. We are going to be giving out a Top 1 Futures 50K eval account. Something cool that Top 1 Futures dropped. Oh, you can't see my code. Damn it. It's code RDF on the bottom. Hold on. Haha. Now you can see the code. You get an additional 5% off when you bundle accounts with Top 1. Another really cool update that I've seen from a lot of firms, which I am so grateful for. If you're somebody that buys more than one account at one time, we talked about copy trading, talked about getting more aggressive. Maybe this isn't going to help everybody, but if you're very tired of clicking the button over and over and over again and going back and putting your credit card information in, you can bundle accounts. You can buy 5 accounts or more with Top 1. You can also do this with Tradeify. So shout out to Tradeify for doing this as well, but we're talking about Top 1 here. They're over a year in business, so celebrating that. And I think it was always so annoying. I don't know why. I know it's a back end thing, like they have to do it. But I'm glad that some firms have started to figure out how to allow you to buy more than one account at one time. Like maybe you just want to buy 2 accounts and you don't want to have to like go back through. You can add 2 to a cart and just check out with 2. It's great. So if you do that, you get an additional 5% off of the 50% off the code RDF already gets you. If you want to check it out, link is pinned to the chat. Whoa, sorry guys. Link is pinned to the chat. I was trying to bring this back down. If you want to check that out, feel free. Shout out Top 1 Futures. Awesome stuff from those guys. Awesome stuff from them. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna give you about where's the thing? Where's the giveaway form? Give you guys about 10 minutes to get this filled out. About 10 minutos. I don't even know if that's how you say minutes in Spanish. So my bad. As this market just does nothing. Absolutely nothing for my day. Choppy, man. Nice. Do you aim for swings or intraday? A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Here with you guys, trading prop firm accounts, they are technically all intraday. But what I would consider more of what I do, day trading and like, you know, maybe closer to the swing style of day trading, if there's such a thing, rather than like really aggressive scalping. That's just what pays me best. I've really tried it all. I've done it all. I spent a lot of time on different things. I talked about where I think scalping is efficient, you know, for aggressively trading prop accounts, especially ones that have minimum trading days. Maybe trying to really aggressive scalp for momentum. I talked a little bit about that earlier this year. Just haven't had the right market conditions to do it. But yeah, kind of, you know, looking at the 15-minute chart, putting a larger trade on, full risk, right? You know, I'm not waiting to take 5 trades on the day. I'm going to put 5 times the risk on one trade, right? And just run that bad boy to a stop or take profit. But I did talk about on this session earlier on, trading through session changeover, but definitely after session changeover for overnight swing trades, you know, Asia, London, into New York. It's something I want to refocus on. Come back to. What's up, Spanish in the house? Let's go, Zach. Yeah, what's going on, dude? What's up? Oh, man. Fun trip to Colombia this year. That was my challenge to try to remember how to speak Spanish. Not that I could ever speak Spanish well at all. I took Spanish, classic American, took Spanish in high school and like never was good at speaking it. But traveled to a lot of Spanish-speaking countries and spent a bit of time in some of them and got a little bit better just by force of having to. but not at all good. I couldn't form good sentences at all. From Colombia. Oh, nice, dude. Saw the video. Yeah, awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Colombia's beautiful, man. Love it. Absolutely love it there. Love it in so many other countries, for sure. News going crazy. Yeah, guys, I am seeing this. We didn't get a huge reaction out of this. I'm talking about giveaways and stuff. I saw about 10 minutes ago, explosions heard in Dubai as UAE air defense engage in incoming missiles. So we also have videos getting shared of the Iran Navy reportedly firing warning shots at U.S. destroyers. We have UAE Defense Ministry says it detected 4 missiles launched from Iran and successfully intercepted 3 of them. The 4th fell into the sea. So we got reports of conflict in the Middle East continuing to escalate. Some not with the U.S. They're talking UAE and Iran. Some with the U.S. They're talking the Iran Navy reportedly, right, allegedly firing shots at the U.S. This is coming from different sources. I also see that they're reporting, because as we can see it, muted impact. Iran war has a muted impact, right? We're not just absolutely dumping, but risks are building. It's from another research company. Iran war has not yet significantly impacted the U.S. economy, but the underlying risks are growing. Stronger consumer spending, solid GDP, and improving higher trends are being supported. And then it continues on. So we got headline risk here, guys. We do have conflict being reported in real time. Some of those are just a couple minutes ago. That last one was just 2 minutes ago. I would be cautious. I think that could potentially be a reason that we're starting to see a turn to the downside here in the U.S. indices. Much more aggressive, getting more aggressive here on YM, much more aggressive on NQ. Again, we trended to the upside here. Yeah, here we go. We're about to hear a headline here. I can guarantee that.
Connected to multi-asset channel.
It's going to get red right now.
Seeing a bit more pressure here in the equity space. Yields on the treasury space in the US.
I'll tell you what it is. I'm not going to leave the squawk on. We got something rolling here, guys. I'd be cautious for sure. Going to close out the giveaway for him in a minute, but we got movement in the markets. Here's the use of news squawk, right? Here's the use of reading these headlines, understanding what's going on. I know there's another one that's going to print right now, and I would have it if I was listening to it. You could start to try to decide whether or not you want to be involved in a sell-off coming into a key level where I was looking long on news headlines, right? Or maybe you say, hey, you know what? We didn't do anything all day. We trended below VWAP. Now we're dumping. I don't know that I want to step in front of this as we're getting war, reports. Also got some natural disaster stuff going on. Damn, man, it's going to be a tough day here. This is literally, I'm just reading this now. It says earthquake alarm sounds in Mexico City. That's not good. I'm waiting to see what this next thing was. I'm wondering if this is just late reaction or if we actually have more information coming out of the U.S.-Iran conflict right here. I'll keep you guys updated as soon as I read it. Watching this come near my level of interest, my initial level of interest for a mean reversion trade, guys, I don't know that I want this. Don't know that I want this. This is on headline news, and here's how we can use it. Yeah, here we go. Fire erupts in petroleum industrial site following the drone attack from Iran. So, yeah, this is on UAE taking shots from Iran. And they're reporting fire at a petroleum industrial site. So, not good. Now, decision needs to be made. Do I want this one from the same spot? Probably not right here. I'd be waiting for a further push down. I'm still watching to see if I want to take the same style mean reversion trade. Higher time frame trend, this holds, right? Higher time frame thesis, this holds. If we break here, which we very well may, I think this could be absolutely nasty. If we don't break, I think we're headed right back up towards VWAP on this initial pop to the downside after sweeping pre-market low. I'm not going to get involved above pre-market low. You see, look at that. If we're patient enough, we might actually get a trade on here. Not going to get involved above pre-market low. Excuse me, I just said below. Not going to get involved above pre-market low. Looking at a crack down towards this line that I had drawn, the 220s, but I might wait for a little bit more out of this. More headlines coming in, guys. Iran Revolutionary Guards spokesman says vessels are violating regulation. Yeah, so it's just escalating. It's just escalating. Oil prices rise and stock slides as UAE defense missiles are triggered. Yep, that's just a general market update from News Squawk. Yeah, this could be nasty, guys. Right? Markets reacting to whether or not this conflict is dying down or escalating, unfortunately, right? And you know, we can utilize some of that in our decision on whether or not we want to take on risk today. I'm still of the belief that if we come down here, if we crack this low in YM, this is a decent spot to structure risk just for a general style mean reversion trade. Right back up here. I just don't know where and if I want to step in front of it. 100 points lower into the 150s looks pretty good. Looking at liquidity right in here, right in the middle of this zone, right in here on YM. But this is dicey. This is dicey. Yeah. Nasty turn to the downside on ES. Came through, filled all of these buy orders. CVD dropped off from positive, what? 3,000 on the high end. Yeah, a little over 3,000. Dropping to negative 4,700. Obvious sell volume, right? We're pushing lower here. You can see it on the candle. You can probably see it on the candlestick chart as well, right? Volume headed to the downside here. Yeah, I'm still interested in the longs, guys. It's just this is gonna be some risk. We are just coming down into pre-market lows right here on YM. Do we crack it? I'm gonna run the giveaway, guys, but you're gonna have to hang out with me here. If you don't want to hang out, you know, come back at a later point. But we just cracked pre-market low and found buyers. We traded, looking at the low here, 224. This is a 225, so we swept pre-market low by one tick. By literally one tick. I'm looking at a potential long play here. Probably would run this with one. And probably would be looking for a more of a 1-to-1 on this. Here we go, guys. We cracked through this next level on ES, which we've continued lower. We cracked through this pre-market low and into this next level here. I'm curious in this. I'm curious in this area if it's gonna hold. We're outside of this area of high volume. We could start to slide really aggressively. I do like it below this level. This is what I was waiting for. A lot of headline risk though, guys. If another negative news report comes in, a lot of buyers stepping in right there. I don't know that it's done yet. I'm waiting for a push right down. We had some liquidity at the 150s. You know, adjusting a little bit, right? Adjusting a little bit. Looking at this level right here. I think we got a good chance of trending towards that. Buyers right below these pre-market lows, off of these 220s, at least so far. But let's see. See if we get paid for being patient today. Chat, I'm going to come back to you guys. We might get a trade on here. This was looking kind of boring. I'm no trade so far, patiently waiting. I'm just watching news as we come in. If we start to settle down here kind of slow, we got down here fast. I don't mind this. I don't mind this. Don't mind this. I don't think we're done, though. I don't think we're done with this push. Had my mark at 220. Wanted to be a little bit more conservative as we didn't. This isn't the same mean reversion little dip to the downside off of the open. This is headlines coming in that Iran sending missiles all over the place, and we started to dump. Liquidity at 49, 150 came on the board. We've been trending through everything. ES had a little bit more. We've been coming through all of it as well. Was looking for some of the last decent amount on here to fill across all of these before looking for a long, but we're finding buyers here, so we might just start to pull back. Not yet, though. Not yet. Again, obviously a lot of risk here, where if we start to let go, this could turn into a bloody day. This could turn into a very bloody day. I'm trading this with 1 mini. I've been running some of these with 2. I don't feel the need to do that today. I think I could take a nasty stop on this one. So, plus I don't need a lot in this account to put a payout up. To put a payout up. I already went over a consistency rule on it, so I can push it a little bit higher. But, yeah. Finding buyers here after taking out this low. Is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be it? I'm looking for a test down here again, guys. Just taking a look on really low time frames. Let's see. 11:30 a.m. candle. Let's see what we get here. Would like to stay just under $1,000 of risk on this one, and just right at $1,000 on a Dubsky. Nice little 1-to-1 right back up towards VWAP. I'm not taking it from right here, guys. It could absolutely pop right back up here. I'm looking for another crack through into here to take this long. I'm not going to wait for us to come back up after doing that. I'll be buying into some selling pressure right here. Again, looking at this as a nice line in the sand, but 200s could be interesting as well. Let's see. Yeah, I got room on this one to the 150s, no problem. I don't want to miss it. We traded through the 220s. Would like a little bit better of a fill on this. A lot of orders on ES getting ran into here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at trying this one, guys. I think this one gives me a good way to structure risk. Again, aggressive. Counter to this headline news as we're coming lower. I'm gonna watch the 200s and 150s here. Yeah, I like it, right? We might not fill this. We might not fill this. I'm getting long in here, guys. This aggressive, right? Quite aggressive on this, but I'm getting long in here. That's my trade. 215, stop at 017. TP at 49, 417. I'm throwing a take profit in here because I'm gonna run a giveaway as soon as we did that. We're gonna run a giveaway now. In long. Oh, excuse me, in long. Giveaway time, guys. Let's run it. You guys have been patient. We're gonna close this out right now, and we're gonna run a giveaway. That's giving my trade here on YM. Looking for a reversion back up. I think if more of these headlines come in, we could see some nasty selling pressure. I'm looking for a quick W on this. Not a lot of risk. Again, one account, $1,000. Just not a great like Monday type of setup. This is good enough for me to take a $1,000 L if I have to on, but maybe not 2,000 across, you know, multiple accounts or something like that. So, you guys have been cool, hung out with me till 11:30. Let's run some ducks, guys. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's run it. And then I don't have to say I took a no trade day either. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Chat. Chatty McChat chat. All right, let's go, guys. We got the ducks ready to roll. This is for a Top 1 Futures 50K eval account. Shout out to Top 1 Futures. Shout out to you guys. Let's go ahead and run it. If you missed this giveaway, for some reason you weren't paying attention, hop in Discord. All the links are pinned to the top of this chat. You can use code RDF at any one of the best prop firms or almost all the best prop firms, most of the prop firms that I trade with, and get yourself the best deal and an entry to win one of 5 accounts. You could also not do anything and just hang out on the live streams and fill out a giveaway form and win. No purchase necessary. Let's go. Good luck, everybody. Let's talk chat. Chat, chat, chat. We're talking about Colombia. Cool, cool, cool. Cut the shorts on VWAP. I'm watching this over here on the left-hand side, guys. I am long 215 on YM. There we go, film 200s. Got room to the 150s. Let's see what we get here. Kitchen Spanish. Yeah, just got the short on VWAP. ES specific. Nice, Dwayne. Very nice. Earthquake stuff is crazy, man. Yeah, insane. DLL George. Discord not allowing phone verification. Not sure why. I'm not sure why either, my brother. You also asked, can you explain your top 1 rules? Got screwed out of a 54,000 at Top Step. What happened, DLL George? Specifically, right? Because I always like to make sure people are speaking correctly. Did you get screwed out of a payout because you didn't follow the rules? And in that case, you didn't get screwed out of anything? Or do you feel like you got screwed out of something that you followed and, you know, was unclear? But what rules are you looking at? What else? I had massive slippage on my first trade, so I'll probably just stay out of everything. I feel that. I feel that, man. We got the dude who called out something cool before, also looking like a signal. Long NQ. You got stopped. I'm assuming you got stopped out earlier, but wait, were you short before? Oh no, well maybe. I mean, maybe if you didn't get stopped out of the short. Nice, nice. I'm long YM. I am sell. Yeah, as language barriers. Brian, God's Battle. You guys are funny. I'm sure it's language barriers, right? Probably English, not the first language. Let's go. Where am I? Stay flat all day. Price action was tricky. Yeah, man. I was flat until just now, guys. And it's still, like, this is still tricky. This is still tricky. You know, I'm long now, but this was tricky. We finally got some movement. Let's see if we can get on the right side of this market. All right. War news dump definitely kept me out. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, wait a minute. We got reports of missiles, attacks, and like market starts to move, and you're like, I'm not touching this, dude. It's gonna be volatile. It's gonna be volatile either way, right? You know, when I put a trade on like that, like I said, you know, there's risk involved. A lot of headline risk there. Nothing wrong with saying I don't want any of that headline risk. All right, let's see what we got, man. K-Walk 87. First and foremost, K-Walk 87. K-Walk, are you here on YouTube? Say what's up if you're in the chat. Looks like you're watching from YouTube. Say what's up, my brother. Let me check the form and make sure you followed all of the other instructions. A lot of people don't, so nobody go anywhere. we've had to run these quite a few times. Oh, it looks like you followed the instructions. I think you followed the instructions. Are you here in chat, my man? Let's see. There he is. He's here. What's up? W's in the chat for K-Walk. Taking the W. Taking the W. Awesome, man. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, I'm not going anywhere. I got a trade on. That's sitting break even right now, just for the record. We are at an entry on a trade, so. W's in the chat for K-Walk. Listen, if you did not win today, hop in Discord. You could probably get a chance to win tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe we run more giveaways here. Maybe we run more on the Discord. But we got a W for Mr. K-Walk 87. I see you guys got some questions in the chat. Some people answered me, so I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, boys. We're gonna yap. But W's in the chat for giveaway number 1. Giveaway winner number 1. All right, let's come back over here and watch this trade. Chat. Awesome, man. Awesome, 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 awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this for a little bit. Again, I got a fixed take profit on here because I anticipate stepping away from this. Also, running giveaways, I can't really manage trades well. Let's see in the house. It's nasty flat. I'm going back up. Okay. They changed rules multiple times in a month or so. I had a 54. Okay, are you talking about top step or top 1? DLL George. You wrote, I had $54,000 in profit, 2 XFAs. So XFAs are only with top step. You said top 1 before. Did I misread it? Easy to mistake that, though. I'm not, like, faulting you, you know. I thought you said top 1, though. So who are you trading with first? Yeah, you said top 1. So is it top step or top 1? And then you wrote, I had $54,000 in profit, 2 XFAs, moved to live, refused payouts that were previously part of the live call-up, also only gave me 20%, 11K. That sounds like top step. That sounds like top step. Top step. And here's, I guess, the question. They changed rules, right? They changed rules multiple times. Did they change the rules and then you didn't realize and you had a newer account, or did they apply the rules retroactively to the account that you were trading? That's a really important, really important note, which is important. And for the record, I'm not partnered and affiliated with TopStep. I was giving them a solid attaboy on the instant payouts today, which I thought were awesome. I've been trading with TopStep for quite a while. I follow as much as I can across all of the firms, but I will, gladly say that I don't have all of the details on their newest live account, which they did start to cap that live account. Question, Zach, how do you feel YM compares to NQ in terms of movement? I've been interested in trading YM. Yeah, YM's different, man. YM, first off, lives in, it's a U.S. indice. It's not that different. It's a U.S. indice. It tends to live in its own world. Obviously, most of the time, they're correlated, like today, but not all of the time, right? Like, if you look at the 1 day, the daily here, the 1 day. What a weird way to say a time frame. You know, this is NQ. Here's previous all-time highs. Like, look at what we did in here. You know, here's YM. Really living in its own world here, right? Like, really completely living its own world here. So, you know, not above all-time highs. So it's not exactly the same. I like YM for a mean reversion style trade. I find it to respect levels really cleanly. I find it to trade to and from zones really, really cleanly. I find it loves to trade back across its areas of high volume quickly in a way that NQ might just be different. I find it to be a little bit slower moving, albeit much faster than ES. But these are all just subjective, like, opinions, you know? A lot of people say, you know, different things about it, but that's kind of how I feel it moves. But I do like YM. I traded YM a lot as US 30, or a decent amount, as US 30 in the past. With CFDs and Forex years and years and years ago. It's probably why I have a natural affinity to it and tend to do well on it. But like I've said a lot, guys, I just try to do what pays me. A lot of people are like, they got all these crazy different reasons about what's the best and what's the worst and this and that. What makes sense, right? YM paying me this stupid mean reversion setup that I've been taking for damn near, you know, a year of live with you guys. It seems to work out. I got a really high hit rate. Does it work out all the time? Of course not. I get cooked sometimes. That pays me. You know, is scalping, you know, the initial balance break on ES not really working so much for a long period of time? Maybe I don't try to do that, right? You know? So, just try to do what pays you. Okay, let's see. WWW awesome. Drew down to 1,000. They closed the account. Literally have messages saying only lose an account if you get to 0. They changed the rule again. Now you lose an account if below plus $1,000. Appreciate it, Zach. Awesome. Jay intervene. Reading through. Top step. I asked about top 1 because you're done with top step. Oh, okay. Applied rules to the same account multiple times. Okay, yeah, DLL George. Thank you for clarifying. I can't speak on what you're describing there, man. That sounds funky. Sounds really funky. I'd have to read their live rules like really in detail, which I might have to do soon. But they're all so different. Like all the live accounts now are so different that I really have to like spend, you know, 20 minutes before I could say, hey, here's what the rules say. I know they changed a ton. It's interesting to see if they, you know, if they were applying stuff retroactively. I don't know. But what I'd say is, to answer that question, head to the firms if you want that are scrolling down on the bottom of this page, like top one futures, Lucid, Take Profit Trader, right? Maybe Tradeify, maybe Alpha. Go to their frequently asked questions and read their rules for a live account. Because it sounds like you're a hell of a trader, unless you just happen to just YOLO an account and get lucky, which usually isn't the case if you have that much profit and you're getting moved live. If you're putting up huge profit and prop accounts, you do want to pay attention to the live account parameters. You know, if you're trading max 150s, like what do they look like? But they're all going to be drastically different. And based on how you trade and what you're trying to do, you know, one thing might look really appetizing to you while another one looks appetizing to another person. So that's what I would recommend, man. You sound like you're on that upper echelon of doing well, which is awesome. Sounds like a bad experience with that live account, but I'd read through all the FAQs and then decide, you know, who you want to try to hammer next. No. Is that right? I have to look. I'm saying no because I don't know. All right, let me ask this. Let me ask this in chat. Really? You have $1,000 max loss limit on any live account? That I'm guessing it doesn't trail, but even if you have like a full-size live account, you have $1,000 max loss limit? How can that be? The contract says it applies to everything. Yeah, I'll have to see, dude. I'll have to see. That's pretty wild. I'll definitely read through it, man. Definitely read through it. Sorry, it's a dumb question. Do I need to email you? No, bro. You're just gonna come straight to email. I got all your info, K-Walk. Yeah, total BS, man. I'll have to see. Yo, what's up? Time to eat trading in the chat. Guys, we got a heavy hitter in the chat. We got my boy Nick in the chat. What's good, dude? Thank you, Nick. I appreciate you, man. This is great to see you live, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate you hopping in, man. If you guys wanna trade gold, you wanna see a badass trader in action, somebody that trades live almost every damn day. Another person who is real as they come, man. Check out Nick. Time to eat trading. That last comment in chat, it's epic, man. Appreciate you hopping on, man. I'll have to come and say what's up on the live soon. Yo, Zach, what do we got? Zach, new to the channel, great energy. What caused the dump in NQ? Time to eat, my guy, yeah. That was headline news. We have reports that Iran is firing missiles at the UAE. They were reporting their air defenses engaged incoming missiles. Then they reported that a petroleum industrial site in the UAE is on fire. Again, this is all breaking, so, you know, it's always important to, like, grain of salt it. Like, who knows if this is going to be retracted or something's 100% accurate. They're talking about vessels violating regulations in the Strait, oil prices, and then the general market update was oil prices are rising, stocks slide as UAE missile defensive systems are triggered. More and more of that is coming. Also, there was a couple in there that said there was warning shots towards U.S. in the Strait, like U.S. defense, ships in the Strait, something along those lines. So, just escalation of the conflict, unfortunately. That's what it looks like we got rolling. Just wire money to Ninja. Yeah, I feel that, bro. If you were Ninja, you could take the same payouts. For sure. For sure. I hear that, DLL George. No, 100%, man. I got live accounts rolling as well. No rules in the live accounts outside of really margin requirements and, just general FTC, CFTC, broker rules, right? No rules as far as minimum trading days to pay out and consistency and all that type of stuff. So yeah, man, a lot of risk, but that's part of the game. I hate trading that anyway. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, guys, so we're pushing to about 12 o'clock here, man. As you know, obviously, as you can see, I am long. One mini here. Waiting to see if we fill out this 150s. Looks like being just a hair more patient would have helped me. Got a nice wide stop, wide take profit on this bad boy. I'm going to let it rip. I'm going to let this one run. We have continued to push lower here on NQ and ES. NQ selling off. ES selling off. Not catching buyers just yet. We definitely tried right in here across all of these. Higher time frame view on this. Starting to look a little dicey, man. If we do let go, I think we could slide. Not to have too vague and dumb of a way to talk about price. If we let go, we can slide. Yeah, if we start to give these areas up, right, on ES and NQ, I think we could head lower. I think we could have an aggressive move to the downside, right? That would be market participants, everybody that's, able to click a button, both machine, algo, and human, saying we don't like what's going on in the Middle East, or, we do, but we're going to push price lower, right? Whatever narrative you want to create for yourself. But just taking a look at these, if we do push lower, this is where I think we're headed. If we find buyers, this is really the last ditch. Dipping outside of the 100s, I think it would get pretty ugly. But that's what I'm hanging on for. Trading through the 150s right here. Let's see if we can find some buyers. If you want to, talk about how I'm looking to manage this trade. Ooh, volatility coming in here. Uh-oh. Yeah, man, continual reports coming out. Just so you guys know, again, I can't stream News Squawk all day because it is a paid service. I'm not able to stream it all day. If you guys want to check out News Squawk and you want to hear how I'm getting these reports faster than everybody else, link is pinned in the chat as well. Code RDF gets you $19.99. You can try it for 20% off. But UAE says Air defense systems are currently responding to another missile threat. UAE Ministry of the Interior says the situation is safe at the present. Citizens and residents can resume their normal activities. So it's going back and forth. It's going back and forth over there. There was one in here about the U.S. Yeah, so this was 11:12 a.m. ISN shares videos of the Iran Navy reportedly firing warning shots at U.S. destroyers. So that was like, I thought that would have more of a reaction, but it looks like we just got back and forth on these reports, man. Of course, there's so much involved here. There's so many layers, right? It's not just conflict in the Strait and what that means for logistics. Now it's the UAE having, you know, a petroleum industrial site, but maybe allegedly hit, and like so many layers here for these U.S. indices, which can be really hard to interpret in real time. The way that I approach this stuff is just to be aware of it and say, hey, we're moving. Is that relative to some crazy breaking news? You know, maybe a natural disaster like we started to see, you know, we started to hear an earthquake, which is insane in Mexico City. You know, is it on conflict, on war? Maybe I don't want to trade. You know, maybe I'm looking at this as a key level that I want to be hit, that I'm looking at a lot of headline risks that I don't want to touch it. Maybe I'm ready to put that risk on. I think this is as far as we're going to head down. I don't think these you know, these headlines are that big of a deal, or at least they got all the news out and now it's starting to settle. You know, I'm ready to trade again. There's a lot of different ways you could apply the fundamentals here. Here's what that wiggle was as it's coming out. Zelensky says 1-day ceasefire with Russia is not an option. That looks like it's being reported from multiple. Yeah, so guys, a lot of headlines today. It was slow, big surprise. Here's the market. Slow, choppy, back and forth, nothing until headlines start to drop and then we rip, right? So anyway, I'm going to leave this bad boy on. This is probably one I'm not going to look at. I'm probably just going to walk away from this. Maybe trade some other props after taking a break, getting some lunch. But that's my trade, guys. Fixed take profit on this one because I do have a consistency rule in this account that I'm trading. I can go above the $600 in a 50K because I unfortunately accidentally in the past already went above it. But that's what I'm going to let roll on this one. Outside of that, I'd be cautious. Looking like we want to try to move back to the upside, but I think if a couple more of these negative headlines come in, we could certainly start to slide. But as a whole, I'm trading zone to zone, level to level, area of interest to area of interest, same way that I'm trading, you know, day in and day out. I am counter to this now daily trend and prior day's trend here on YM, but I'm looking for that same mean reversion. Quick crack back up. I got to take profit below VWAP. I'm not even looking for a back to VWAP move here. So anyway, guys, that is my trade. I appreciate you. Time to eat. They don't call him the real deal for no reason. Of course, brother, keep up the great work. This is a great stream. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. I'm getting ready to wrap up here. You hopped on towards the end. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. And again, anybody that's trading gold, because I don't touch gold, man, I'm happy to introduce you to somebody who absolute heavy hitter over there. Absolute heavy hitter on Nick's team. Time to eat trading. You can click his profile in chat. We'll pop for sure, maybe. I don't know about for sure. Maybe. Hate trading tonight anyway, so. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you hopping on. Thank you. I see we dropped off a little bit here. I'm leaving this one on. If you want to hop in the 100% free trading Discord, link is in the chat, pinned. Hope to see you guys in there. I will be here trading live with you all week, 9:15 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Kick, and X. Hope to see you guys in Discord. Hope to see you back here on the live stream. Remember, quick disclaimer. Oh, giveaways rolling. I'll be doing a whole bunch of announcements in the Discord, so hop in there for details. Quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. I hope you do your own research. Make sure you're doing your own research. Not a hope. Make sure you're doing your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is. Even if under prop firm accounts, and the affiliate punch disclaimer. It says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. Like code RDF right here. Can't be unbiased if I stand to make money, which I do. Important for me to note that. For you to do your own research, make your own decisions. Trading's risky, guys. Do not forget that. Most traders do not make money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all your money. It's a crazy thing to do. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you live in Discord. I'll see you live here tomorrow. And I'll keep you updated on this YM trade. You got my take profit. You got my stop loss. I'll let you know. I'll try to let you know in Discord if I manage this any differently. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you.